shine. This love is so divine. Yeah. Woke up to the sunrise, opened up my scroll. A world chasing trends, but I'm chasing after your soul. And they say conform, I say stand on your love. To heal them in my veins, got that cold. Your law is my shield. Culture pulls left, but your way is the field. Feast on my calendar, Shabbat my reset. Set apart life, best decision, yeah. Under the wings of Torah, I'm safe and I'm free, Yahuwah. Obey your word is where my ruach wanna be. Obey your word is where my ruach wanna be. I live and set apart. Yeah, we different by design. Oh, in your statutes I shine. This love is so divine. Oh, no more chains. I'm free in your ways. Hallelujah. Lifting praises. Yahuwah, forever this is the plan.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, beautiful family. I hope you guys are good. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we want to apologize for any kind of disturbances that we have here, because for those who do not know, we are the family that has 9 pit bulls that just live and operate near us. They're uncaged, unkennelled, unchained. And as we were doing the very first song, they all kind of broke out and they all started bickering. And so we're sitting here not quite in shalom as we're trying to fight the dogs. And that's part of the stress of keeping a Shabbat reading going live when you have these kinds of distractions. So my apologies, and we are continuing on. Now, for those who've never ever heard the Yahuwah and the Torah channel before, we are the people who believe everything in scriptures, from the front of the book all the way to the very end of the book. And this channel is dedicated to the beautiful name, the beautiful ways of our Creator. And his ways are what you call the Torah. Now, the word Torah is not a Jewish thing. We're not a religious thing. What we are is we are a people who love Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Now, that's not the only books that we use for doctrine, but it is the books that we use for doctrine for the rules and regulations that we have as a people. Now, as we go through those first 5 books and as we continue on through the rest of the books, The entire scriptures very clearly tells us that the path to the kingdom is based upon those who are obedient to the ways of our Creator. Now, when you ask those in the religious system, what does obedience mean to you? Well, most of the people out there have no idea what it means because there's no such thing in their religion about obedience. They don't have a rule and regulation set. They've been nailed to the tree. They've been thrown in the trash. They've been fulfilled. And they will say that with a straight face, not actually knowing those are words of condemnation. Now, if you want to have a relationship with your parents or you want to have a relationship with a person, if you couldn't stand the words that they said when they were spewing out words, then you probably wouldn't hang out with these people, right? It probably would not be a person that is you would have respect for. Now, that is the same thing with our Creator. When we say that we love Him with all of our heart, with all of our mind and all of our soul, and we hate His laws, His rules, His regulations. In fact, we are so misunderstanding of the scriptures that we believe a character who they call Jesus, and we call him Yahushua. They believe that this individual came and rewrote the rules of the government. Now, that is a mistake because nowhere in scriptures do we ever have that. Nowhere does it ever tell us that the rules, regulations, and the statutes of our Creator are just null and void. Don't worry about them, right? And in fact, what we're going to learn in this reading today is that we are going to go over these beautiful laws, these beautiful statutes and beautiful commandments that we have. And we're going to talk about them as a group. And this is what this beautiful day of Shabbat is for us, is that we do go over these. And I want to welcome everybody that's out there, everybody who is out there now, everybody that comes in the future, and especially shout out to all of our brothers and sisters in chains that are in the prison system of the United States of America. We have a brother who's in the UK who's taking every one of these every week, and we're going to be ripping them out, and we are going to be mailing them into the United States of America, where brothers and sisters will be sitting around in their little communities, in their little gatherings on Shabbats, on other days of the week, and they're going to be hanging out with all of us. So everything in the chat windows that you're seeing right here will be going to these brothers and sisters. They'll be able to hang out with all of us. And so with that, we would like to greet you guys and thank you guys for hanging out with us. We love you all tremendously. Now let's get some praise and worship going here.
Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name. Wonders unseen, yet perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear your esteem proud. Look at your fingerprint etched in my skin. What's it for, Yahuwah? Let the truth rush in. Without those ridges, every cup would slide. Hands like glass, no grip, no hold, we cry. But you caught friction, treads like tires on the road. So I can hold your promises, never let them go. Yeah. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name. Wonders unseen, perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear your esteem proud. Formed in the womb in week 10 to 15 high. Bicycle cells buckle, Turing patterns collide. Even identical twins, their prints never align. Minutiae dots, bifurcations, poor lines so fine. Billions alive and still no true designs. All yours divine. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name. Wonders unseen, yet perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before you but you gave us perfection, touch so sweet. Sensitivity, heightened textures we feel. Koala echoes it, yet humans reveal. Your signature never changes from birth till we're gone. Permanent blueprint of the master engineer, you alone. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name. Wonders unseen, yet perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, Yahuwah, right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear esteem. Now hear the audio wave roll off my tongue. Vocal cords, vibrators shaped by palate and lung. Reverberates through teeth, sculpted by lips so true. Complex waveforms dancing just for you. Coakley air cells bathed in liquid grace. Frequency map fires, brain deciphers your praise. It's soon 20 to 20K. Foam is crystal clear, so every tongue can worship. Yahuwah, we're here. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name. Wonders unseen, yet perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear your esteem proud. All the science bows to the wonders of our King. Yahuwah the creator, that's why the heavens sing. You said, keep my commands, obedience is life. Foolish to wander, chasing shadows and strife. Pick Yahuwah today, walk in his perfect light. The great engineer designed us for his delight. Wonders unseen, they're perfectly the same. Commands we obey, it's foolish to stray. We choose your way today. Yahuwah, 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 Yahuwah. Before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear your esteem proud. The stones were silent until Yahuwah taught them praise. I walked a road of heavy grief. No sound of joy, no sweet relief. The crowd was harsh, the sky was gray. I could not lift my voice to say, Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. And I saw stones beside the way, as if they waited for that day. And Ruach moved upon the ground, and praise became a living sound. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. The rocks began to echo love, like thunder rolling from above. And I remembered who you are. the one who holds the highest star. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is you. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. Now even when my voice is weak, I know creation still will speak. For every stone and every flame was made to honor your name. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is you. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. My cup was empty until Yahuwah poured joy. I carried water, but spilled it all. Through every failure, every fall, my thirst was deep, my strength was low. Yeah, you said you will grow. Fill me, Yahoo, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. I drink the dust of my regret and chain myself in what I've met. But Ruach Kodesh came so near and washed away the stain of fear. Fill me, Yahuwah, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Then laughter came like living rain, and joy was stronger than my pain. I lifted hands and cried Baruch, for Yahu healed what was struck. Fill me, Yahu, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Now every cup I hold will be a sign of His love in me. love's at its worst. Yahuwah quenched my thirst. Fill me, Yahuwah, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Feel me, Yahuwah, feel me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight.
All right. All right. So here we are, guys. Let us get into it. Cade, will you please open us up in prayer, please?
Merciful Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this Shabbat. And we thank you that you've called us back, regardless of our race, our history, who we are. You have called us back to your people. You've called us back to your covenant. We thank you for your endless mercy. We thank you for today's Shabbat. We thank you for the fact that you would give us a day of rest, a day you would give us to chill out, to stop from the worries of the world. We thank you for this day, and we thank you for your Son. We thank you for your Torah. We thank you especially for your grace and your kindness. We thank you for all in His name. Amen.
Okay, so let us get into the very first thing. One of the various most favorite verses that I have out there is out of Deuteronomy, and this is called the Shema. And so with that, Jade, will you please get us the Shema?
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them with a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Okay, and so there we are. These are simple words, but for anybody that comes from the religious community, they wouldn't understand this. They just don't understand that to love somebody with all of your heart, mind, and soul, that you have to love what they're saying. You have to love what they're presenting. You have to love them. And you can't say you love them, but you hate their words. You can't say that you respect them, but can't stand their instructions, right? It doesn't make any sense in that we have that. And so what we're going to go over today, guys, is we are going to go over some of the greatest of the commandments that are ever out there, right? We have 157 commandments that we can keep today in today's world. Where's my picture? I got one of my very first pictures I got of this one. There we go. Now, this is something that I want to throw up there. And if you guys can see this, if you look at this, this is what we just read, right? The Shema, right? And we actually know this isn't what we just read, but this is what we're reading now. And in the commands, Deuteronomy 4:2, we have this this little tiny section right here, right? You shall not add to the word, which I command you, nor take from it. Now, to understand what the word is, that's why we have to read the scriptures. Because if you have never read the scriptures, then it might possibly not make sense to you what the word is. Now, for those of us that have read the scriptures, it becomes very, very clear that the word is found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. That is the word of our Creator that He gave to us. Now, when we add in other things, and these things are all part of the religious system right here, these are all commandments we are breaking. Now, if you look at the very first one, the first one is a little confessional, right? You got the little black box, or the little box, and you got the little fella in there in his little, penguin style suit, and a little black and white outfit, get up, and you'll sit in there and you will tell him all of your sins and all of the things that you have done. And what this individual will do, he will very clearly tell you that your sins are forgiven, or he'll tell you how to do penance, how to do some kind of, how to get yourself forgiven for these sins. Now, we don't have these things inside of scriptures, and this is part of the adding to and taking away. Now, anything outside of this is wrong. So the next thing we have is we have praying to Mary, right? I'm sure Mary was a wonderful woman, right? But nowhere in scriptures do we ever have something of the sort. And that takes us into the entire religious system of Judaism. And they have all of these satanic things called the Kabbalah, the Zohar, their tree of life, all these things that come out of Babylon. They come out of a black magic place, a place where they got all this. Then we'll go over to the baptizing for the dead. You know, we have this in the Mormon religion. Everybody's saved. You can go through your entire life and never ever seek the Creator. You can never seek a son, and you can die as some horrible sinner. And in that religious system, they will tell you that, hey, you know what, we can baptize for the dead. You'll have a choice to seek the Creator and His Son after you're dead, right? Things like that do not exist anywhere in scriptures. The same thing with Christmas. When we decide that we are going to celebrate Christmas, we're adding to the word. Simply by putting up a Christmas tree, we're breaking commandments. We're doing what the Gentiles do. We're not separating ourselves from the nations. In the book of Jeremiah, it tells us that we're not to bring trees and decorate them because that's what the pagans do. Same for Easter. We have the bare-breasted fertility goddess named Easter, who is, they sacrifice little children. They do all this stuff, right? They drop the children in the blood of the sacrifice. And so from that, we have come to the modernized word of Easter is Easter. And people still celebrate a pagan thing. Same for Thanksgiving, right? Our Creator never told us to celebrate these days or do anything of it. And the rest of it, right? All of this other stuff, right? All these unified religious systems, all of these things that can coexist, right? All the coexist bumper stickers that you guys saw everywhere. Every single one of these things, my friends, are breaking the commandments of our Creator. And so as we attempt to get out of man-made traditions, these are all things that have come at a lot of us during the course of our lives, but they're things that if we do, we are breaking Torah. So let us get into this, and we are going to read through these, and we're gonna go through these, and we spend the majority of the time in this reading on going through these commandments. And I would encourage all of you guys not to nod off, and that you truly write these on your what they call muscle memory, so that you just know these, so that when things come across in your time, in your life, that you don't know, that it doesn't make any sense, and you want to line them up with the Torah, you will know how to line them up with the Torah. This is why ignorance is not bliss. If we do not know the Torah and we fall into sin, this is on us because we have all been given the Torah. Before that, Mr. Cole, will you please greet our brothers and sisters, everybody out there who is out there?
All right, we have Sarah and her grandbaby Athena. JB for Just Bob, welcome to you. Brandy and family, Jeanette, Danny Boy, King Gigi, Cindy, Joanna, Honeymoon Stitch, Brian, Anna, new name, welcome to you. Scrolling Sister Barb and family, Sue, I'm still scrolling, there's lots of chat here. Tehelium 91 Psalms, welcome to you. And I'm probably going to mess up this guy's name, so I apologize, but it's De La
Luz Ramon Jr. What's up? De La Ruz Ramon Jr. What's up, brother?
So welcome to you, Sylvia, Bat Yahuwah, Minky K2, new name as well, so welcome to you. Paul Hambley, I'm still scrolling. Jeremy and Callan, Sylvia, Loving Yah, Genie Out of This World, and I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize.
Okay. All right, so let us get into this real quick, guys. And it's not real quick because this is something very, very, very important. Eli, pull us out of this. Now, gentlemen, as we go through this, remember, you guys have heard this, what, 1,000 times more, maybe? I mean,
More.
You think we've gone over Torah commands more than 1,000 times?
I mean, probably.
I mean, we had to go through them originally. I mean, there's been a lot of times on this. Going through them as much as you have, do you guys know them in your heart, mind, and soul?
I would say yes.
Could you give me 25 Torah commands without looking? Anyone?
I could give 25, but I couldn't give them in order.
Right. You think you guys could do 25?
Maybe.
I think 25. I think, and not in order. I think we could do this.
Order.
I think we should. We should try one of these Shabbats and see if we can do it. See how many commands we can get between everybody out there and here. But let's start with this, guys. The commandment number 1, it's in the book of Genesis, is Bereshit, is be fruitful. And the commandment in of itself it's 2 words, right? How in depth could this possibly be? Be fruitful. Well, I guess to understand this one, we'd have to look at the opposite of being fruitful. And that is something that we can all lead to a lot of bad choices in our lives, to where we just didn't go do this, or we decided this was too much work, or we're going to take the day off. Things of this nature, right? The creator of the universe didn't just build us to absorb this world and to run it without a purpose. Our purpose, our intent, starts off with a magnificent commandment, which is being fruitful. Commandment number 2, gentlemen, take it away.
Multiply. We are to grow upon the earth. We are to multiply our generations.
Replenish the earth. Just give back to it. We're not supposed to take away from the earth. Just to give back to it. It helps us. We're supposed to help it.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature. We should be the ones in charge of the animals, and the animals should not be the ones in charge of us. We are bearing, and every tree is for food. Yahuwah gave us the plants, he gave us the trees, he gave us the herbs for food. He gave us these when we first started out in the garden. He said, these are for you to eat.
Man and woman should build their own families. Man and woman are supposed to leave their parents' house and are supposed to go and create their own families, and then they're supposed to multiply. And by following the build their own families command, it follows a few commands.
Master sin. We should have control over sin. We should know what sin is, and we can do that by keeping the Torah and obeying the Torah. Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you. After the flood, there was no herbs on the land, because everything was covered in water. Yahuwah said, the clean animals you are to eat.
Do not eat the blood. There is life in the blood. Blood is sacred. Yahuwah says to stay away from that. We do not eat our food with blood. We do not drink blood. We stay away from things of blood because it will make us unclean, and it is very important to Yahuwah, as he says life is in the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect. We should strive to walk before Yahuwah in everything we do. We should be perfect before him by keeping his Torah, by loving him and obeying him. Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. His most repeated command is to follow what he said. The commands he gave us, the laws and this command and the statutes that he gave us, are to be followed for all generations. Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old. You are entering the covenant when you are circumcised at 8 days old. You are entering a covenant with Yahuwah, and you continue that covenant by loving him and obeying him. Teach your children the command and guard the ways of Yahuwah. You are to teach your children, your generations, those that go after you, the ways of Yahuwah, so they do not forget us, so they do not go off into sin.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. Yahuwah wants us to remember his name. And his name is not Lord or God, and that is forgetting his name. If we start calling him Lord or God and we start teaching that to other people, then we are going astray, because his name is Yahuwah, and that's what he told Moshe to call him. He said, when I tell the Pharaoh, what is your name? He said, what do I tell him? He said, tell him I am Yahuwah.
Keep the Passover, Pesach. This is the first feast of the year. It's on the 14th day of the first month, and it is a remembrance and is a very important feast. Keep the feast of unleavened bread, the festival of Matzot. This feast comes right after Pesach, and it is to get all the leaven out of your house, and you eat unleavened bread for 7 days.
There is one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew. We're supposed to keep one Torah. There's one Torah for everyone. It doesn't matter if you were native born of the Hebrews or if you were a stranger trying to be grafted into their tribes. You were to follow the exact same Torah they were to follow, and we are still supposed to follow that Torah, even though we are not the Hebrews. We are supposed to follow the Torah, and we become Hebrews.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah. The firstborn was Yahuwah, whether it be of animals, of people, everything that was firstborn belonged to Yahuwah. There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. Yahuwah should be worshipped, and in him alone. We are not to have any other idols. We are not to have other deities. There is nothing before Elohim. Elohim is the one and only.
You shall not make graven images. There are no graven images of anything on heaven, earth, and the sea. We're not supposed to have idols. We're not supposed to have things that people bow down to or worship. And we're not supposed to have physical items. We're not supposed to make anything. That's not our place. And Yahuwah does not have a physical image because he does not ask for one.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. You're supposed to love Yahuwah, and you're supposed to use his name correctly. You shouldn't use it as an evil word, and you should never be forgotten either. Keep the Shabbat, the Sabbath day. Yahuwah's weekly festival, his weekly set apart time, It is the Shabbat. It is the day He told us to rest. He said, "You are to rest. You are to do no work. You or those in your household or your animals, you are to rest. This day is set apart."
Honor your parents, or to honor the people that brought us into this world, that gave us a family, that put us on this planet. And they say to honor your parents. Yahuwah wants us to obey those that raise us, and we're to listen to them, we're to obey them. They raise us, and they are the ones who taught us about life.
Do not kill. It is not our task to decide who lives and who dies. It is Yahuwah as the judge. We should not. It is not our job to do that. Do not break wedlock. You are not to break the wedlock. It is a sacred bond. It is a sacred thing. A marriage is a very sacred thing, Yahuwah.
Do not steal. If it does not belong to you, it is not yours. It is very straightforward. We do not steal. If it is someone else's, it's in a store or belongs to someone else, and you do not take it. You do not take it without permission or by purchasing it.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. Do not lie about other people. Just be truthful in everything you do. Do not covet anything of your neighbor's. If you do not have it, it is not for you to have. You're not to covet. You're not supposed to lust after it. This is what causes you to steal. This is what causes you to go further into sin.
Do not make an altar from a rock that tool has touched. Yahuwah, when He said to make the altar, He wants it out of rocks that no tool has touched. It is holy to Him. It is sanctified. And Yahuwah wants an altar with no tools, no iron tools to touch the rocks that you build the altar with.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps. Steps were specifically for the priests of Yahuwah, and it was not for ordinary people to go up to the altar by the steps. When man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times. Back in the day, if you were to steal and you were caught stealing, you were supposed to restore it. You were supposed to repay the crime that you were to repay was you were to give back 5 times what you stole.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals. Yahuwah has a very strict laws for criminals, whether they are guilty or not. If they kill someone, they have cities they run to. If they steal, they repay it, and the ways that they are punished. Yahuwah has laws for criminals, which are a lot more humane than the laws of this earth.
Do not lie with beasts. It is an abomination before Yahuwah. Anyone who does it would be put to death. No sacrifice to other Elohim. Just like the no idols before Yahuwah, no other deities, no other mighty ones. We're not supposed to sacrifice Him. This is stabbing Yahuwah in the back. This is disrespecting Him. This causes Him great sadness and great anger.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless or a widow. We are not supposed to oppress those who are already oppressed. The stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. They are already going through life struggles. They're having issues. And if you oppress them and make their lives harder, what good does that do anyone?
Do not charge your brother interest. He is your brother. He is one of your people. If he needs something, you should help him out.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset. Back in the day when this command was created, people didn't have a whole bunch of sets of clothes. They didn't have a bunch of socks. They had one raiment, and if they were to go to bed without it, they would go cold. So if you, for some reason, you're borrowing your neighbor's raiment, you were to return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people. If you had a person that is in the will of Yahuwah, back in the day of the people, you're supposed to build this person up because they were leading your people to greater things. They were leading your people through victories of battles, through wars. They were bringing your people closer to Yah. This is not for the politicians and the people of today. Do not eat what is torn of any beast. If you find something that has been torn by a beast, even roadkill, it is not food. It probably has some kind of disease, some kind of infection. You should not eat of it at all. No false report. Just like making false accusations against your neighbor, you're to be honest in everything that you say. You are not supposed to make a false report and throw someone in under the ban untruthfully.
Do not follow the multitude of evil. We're not supposed to hang out with evil people. We're supposed to stay away from these people. Because the evil rubs off, and it talks about in the book of Khalidi, Yehoshua talks about how hanging out with other people will make you stink. You go into a goat tannery, and you will come out smelling like the place. And that's the same thing here. If you start hanging out with the multitude of evil, they rub off on you, and you start becoming evil as well.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor. If there is a dispute between a poor person and a rich person, someone who has a lot of money, do not go against the poor person because he does not have any money. You should be equal in everything you do. Bring back your enemy's cattle. If you find it going astray, even if it's your enemy, it is cattle, and that cattle is not your enemy. That animal has not done harm to you. You are to bring it back. You are to be honest with your findings. You are, again, more honesty of what you need to do with your life.
It was to help the animals of your enemy. If you see the animal of your enemy is burdened down, it is stuck, it has run away, it's caught in a fence, you're supposed to help it. You're supposed to bring it back, because again, the animal is not your enemy. Yahuwah created the animals; those are His creatures, and they are innocent. They have not done anything wrong to you. So do not take your frustration, your anger with your enemy out on the animal and leave him to suffer.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers. If you're hanging around enough, you'll start becoming one of the people spreading rumors, one of the people gossiping. You do not want to be one of those people. Take no bribes. It does not matter what you are doing, you are to be honest in what you do. If you take a bribe, you are blinding justice, you are blinding truth, you are corrupting yourself for a little bit of money.
Do not oppress the stranger, love the stranger. We're not supposed to oppress the stranger, those who are in the land, those who are around us, those who are trying to learn. We're not supposed to oppress them, we're not supposed to hurt them, we're supposed to love them and teach them and bring them in so that we can show them the right way forwards.
Give your land rest in the 7th year. The Shabbat the land has a Shabbat as well. At the 7th year, on the 6th year, it will give you extra food, and on the 7th year, you leave it alone. You let everything grow. You do not touch it, and then you redo everything the 8th year. Do not mention any pagan names. These pagan names carry demons. These pagan names carry evil weight. And Yahuwah said He does not want us to mention this. He wants us to speak holy things. He does not want us to speak things that are corrupt.
Keep the feasts of Yahuwah. Yahuwah wants to keep His feasts. He has feasts throughout the year, and we're supposed to keep them. Even today, in this age, we're supposed to obey them and keep His feast days.
Do not put your goat in its mother's milk. Something the pagans did, a pagan tradition. If you are boiling a goat in milk, use different milk. Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you. There was a proven messenger that comes before you. You were to listen to what he said. He came to you with the rules and the laws and the messages from Yahuwah.
Do not bow down to other Elohim. We're supposed to bow down to the fake mighty ones, the gods of the people. We're supposed to stay away from these things. There are a lot of different mighty ones that people worship, whether it's physical items or spiritual items. We're supposed to stay away from them and only worship Yahuwah.
Serve Yahuwah. You're supposed to serve Yahuwah in everything that you do by keeping His commands, by loving Him, by obeying Him. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land. If there were pagans around you, you were not to join in with them. You were not to join with them. It's just like staying away from the multitude of evil. You are not supposed to be part of this. This corrupts you. This corrupts your people. This corrupts your family. And this makes Yahuwah extremely angry.
Do not make or use this anointed oil on a normal person. Do not make or use perfume on a normal person. And what this is talking about is there are special liquids and concoctions for the Levites to anoint themselves. They use to cleanse themselves. And it was supposed to be only for the Levites. But the thing is, they give us the ingredients how to make them, and we're not supposed to make them unless we are the Levites anointing and cleansing ourselves. So if you are making this, you are bringing a curse upon yourself.
Do not eat the fat. There are many toxins in the fat. Where all the toxins of animals are stored is in the fat. If you eat it, you are just digesting those toxins. The fat, Yahuwah likes the smell of it when it's cooking, so the fat belongs to Yahuwah. Do what you say you're going to do. You made a vow or a covenant with Yahuwah or with somebody, you are to follow through with it. You are to go through with what you say. Yahuwah wants, again, honest people, people that will be able to hold accountable to their words.
Return what is your neighbor's. If you find something or you have something of your neighbor's, return it to him. It belongs to him. It is not yours. If it does not belong to you, it needs to go back to the original owner.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. There are commands of what we should and what should not eat, what is clean, what is unclean. Things like pig, shrimp, horse. Those things are the unclean things that we should not eat no matter what. Women's time of separation. When it's women's time to be unclean, they are supposed to separate. They are supposed to get rest. They are supposed to be separated from the rest of the daily struggles.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws. We're to obey the hygiene laws of Yahuwah to stay clean and how to clean ourselves if we become unclean. Who has very straightforward commands, and he tells us exactly how to do them.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim. Yes, this is one of these appointed times, and it is one of these days that, the Shabbat. I was talking about it earlier that, I was talking, we were reading in this week on some of the shorts that we were doing, the book of Tehillim, Psalms. And it talks about, the very first witnesses. And, when we're talking about witnesses and we're talking about things of this nature, it's not just a human witness, right? We know that the sun, moon, and stars are all witnesses. And we know from the books of Enoch and 2nd Ezra and various books that it's the sun that is keeping its track across the sky every single day that is a witness to us, right? And this is the same thing. Shabbat is yet another witness, right? This is a weekly witness of a day that our Creator has given to us that is a once a week set apart time. And the more that we are keeping Shabbat, the more we are going to align our lives into the world of the Torah. And so this is why it's always a really, really, really good idea is to understand the witnesses, understand the scriptures, and understand these appointed times, and make sure these appointed times are as much a part of our lives as everything else is.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family. This is an abomination to Yahuwah. He said, do not lift the skirt of your family, no matter who it is. This is just another thing you take outside and you stone someone for.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife. If you are married to a woman, you do not take her sister as your wife. It causes contention. It causes issues. We can look at the tribes of Israel, how Jacob married Rachel and Leah. They had 2 wives. They were both sisters, and the children hated each other. The women fought for love of the husband, and it was a horrible thing.
Yeah, you're not going to find contentment in that kind of relationship, right? You're not going to find peace, and a dude might be able to pretend his way out of this one, but as far as like a solid relationship between male and female, I mean, that's what it is, male and female. It's not male and female, male and female, male and, it's not that way. It's not meant to be. And so continuing on, do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness, right? Just like the moon has a cycle, women obviously have their cycle. And it's one of these things that there's not enough understanding in on this that, women need their times, women need their hidey holes and their places of contentment while they're having to deal with this kind of the curses of Eve, per se, is what it is. And so there's rules, regulations, things that we do, things we don't do. And it's a time that we have to absolutely, men, align ourselves to have a little bit more compassion than what we have, and understand that men would not take this very well. I'm pretty sure.
You should not sacrifice your children to Moloch. You should not sacrifice your children at all, but to Moloch especially. This was such an issue back in the day that they were sacrificing to Moloch. That is now a command, and now we have child sacrifices of today.
Do not be a sodomite. We're supposed to be holy as man and woman, and we should not do what the sodomites did.
Be Kodesh, holy. Everything we do, we should be Kodesh before Yahuwah. We do that by keeping His Torah and living the Torah. Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard. When you have a field, when you have some sort of crop that has grown up, and it is bountiful, it is grown up, and it is, quote, ready to be harvested, you are to not reap it all. You are not supposed to take all of it. You are supposed to leave a section, a portion, for the fatherless, for the widows, for those who can't provide for themselves. This is your way to give back to Yahuwah, who has blessed your fields.
Do not deal falsehood or defraud your neighbor. You are supposed to love your neighbor. You're supposed to help your neighbor. And if you deal with him falsely, you cheat your neighbor, you defraud him, you deal with him falsely and lie to him, then you are not loving your neighbor. You are breaking this command.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due. Whatever it is, whatever you agree to, whatever is the wage they are owed, you are to owe it to them. You are to pay them that they do not go hungry.
Do not harm the disabled. We're to love the disabled. We're to help them. The disabled are disabled, and they're already having a hard enough time in life. And if you harm them and hurt them and make their lives worse, what kind of person does that make you?
Terrible person, for sure. Do not endanger your neighbor, right? This is the kingdom constitution. These are the rules and regulations, right? We have a house. Our neighbor has a house right next to us. We have a huge honking tree. We got to get this tree down, right? So we sit here and hack away on this tree, and we make sure that it's not going to hit our house, but doggone it, that tree falls down and crushes our neighbor's house, crushed the room, hurt everybody. Everybody's in the hospital, right? This is the thinking, that old stinking thinking that is not part of the Constitution of our Creator. The Constitution of our Creator is love the homeless, love the disabled. Don't cause damage on those, right? We got to get the tree down, but we can climb up the tree and chop it down little bits at a time instead of taking this hurling beast down and right into the side of our neighbor's house. These are all the things that in the Constitution of our Creator, these are on our mind. Because obviously the greatest creations of our Creator is humanity. We are the only creation that we know that actually has a soul, that has something that we can take beyond this land. And I will say there are some other scriptures that do possibly lead to animals having some type of a soul. But as far as the one that we know that has been protected and we are made in the image of Elohim Most High, and we need to protect that, is us.
Do not hate your brother. Your brother is your family. He is another person that Yahuwah has created next to you. You are not to hate your brother. You are not to hate your neighbor. You are to love these people. Yahuwah put these people in your life for a reason.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin. If you see your neighbor sinning, you're supposed to go to him and tell him, neighbor, you are sinning. You need to stop this. You have to rebuke him and set him straight.
Love your neighbor as yourself. If you have a neighbor who you're supposed to love him, you're supposed to help him just like as much you would do for yourself. You should be helping him. Do not diverse your cattle. Now, if you have separate breeds of cattle, you are to keep them separate. You do not want mixed cattle. It causes issues. It causes health issues within your animals.
Do not mingle your seed. When you plant a field, you're supposed to keep the seeds far from each other so they do not intermingle, so you do not get hybrid fruits that were not meant to be there in the first place.
Do not mingle linen and wool. When these two types of fabrics specifically go together, they create a vibration that is very harmful for your body. Do not lie with a taken woman. This is more of honesty. This is more of being a righteous person. If this woman is saying you are not to take her, this belongs to someone else. If you do this, you're an adulterer and you're taken outside and you're stoned.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years. You are supposed to let the trees grow and let them reabsorb the nutrients. You're not supposed to pick it or eat it. It is supposed to reabsorb into the tree, so after 3 years it has healthy fruits.
Do not practice sorcery. Anyone who was found practicing sorcery back in the day would be stoned to death. Do not grind your beard or cut the corners of your head. You are to grow out your beard or your hair or not at all. You're not to style it. You're not supposed to do as the pagans do, that have certain customizations, certain marks in their hairs to signify that they are pagan people.
Do not get tattoos. Yahuwah wants us to keep our bodies in the way that He made us. And we're not canvases. We are supposed to keep our bodies clean. We're supposed to keep them healthy. And Yahuwah said, don't get tattoos. If He wanted to have tattoos, He would have marked our bodies. But He wants us to stay in the image that He created us.
Do not cut yourself for the dead. You're not to make engravings. You're not to shed blood for the dead. The dead is dead. Mourn the dead, but do not cut yourself for
You
it.
shouldn't cut yourself anyway, I would imagine, but probably definitely not for the dead, right? I mean, I wouldn't imagine cutting yourself in any way is something that is kodesh to Yahuwah.
Do not prostitute your daughter. That is another abomination before Yahuwah. If you were to do that, you would need to be put to death.
Do not defile your temple. You're supposed to keep your temple clean, whether it is the physical temple Yahuwah has had us built or our bodies. We're supposed to keep them holy. We're keep them sanctified. We're not supposed to defile them.
Do not consult the medium. You're supposed to stay far away from those people and you should not be near them whatsoever. Respect your elders. These people are wise. They've been through their years. They will have good advice for you and they should be respected. They have made it through their life. They have made it through the trials and tribulations and they should be held in high respect.
Have correct weights and measures. When you are selling something, when you are judging something, it's supposed to be correct weights and measures. You're not supposed to cheat someone. You're not supposed to charge them more or rig the weights. You're supposed to make sure everything is fair and balanced.
Do not walk in the manners of the nations. We should stay away from them. We should be with the people of Yahuwah. We should keep the commands. People of the nations do not do that. Keep the feast of first fruit, Shavuot, Omer count, Pentecost. This is the last feast of the summer festival. This is the feast where you give off your first of your fruits. You go give what your field is given to Yahuwah. This is your way of giving back to how Yahuwah has blessed your fields.
Keep the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah. It is a day of blasting. It is the day that Yahuwah asks us to blow the trumpets so that we basically call on Him and show Him that we are His people.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret. This is a 7-day feast where you dwell outside in booths. It is a remembrance of the time the people were leaving Israel. If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death. If you take Yahuwah's name and you take it in vain and you disrespect His name, you should be stoned. You should be taken outside. This is our Creator. This is who is the highest above all. This is who has given you life and breath, and this is giving you another day to live. And if you were to blaspheme His name, you would disrespect everything that He has done for you.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another. Whether it's acted on purpose, you kill your neighbor's animal, you get him another and replace what you have taken away.
Repay injury for injury. Back in the day, if you were to give injury, you were to also receive the injury. It was supposed to be an equal term saying it was supposed to be an honest place. It was supposed to be correct weights and measures to everything.
Honor the Yobel, the Jubilee year. Jubilee year is a year of return, land, property. Slaves are supposed to be set free. We're supposed to let the land grow up. It is the Jubilee year. It is a year of return and a year that Yahuwah wants things to go back, so His possessions go back to the original owners. Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who have trespassed against. If you have sinned, confess to Yahuwah, tell Yahuwah, and repay however you can to the person you sinned against.
The Torah of being a Nazir. This was a special covenant to be a Nazirite. You were to grow out your hair. You were to stay away from everything on the vine. You were supposed to stay clean. This was a special set apart covenant. You were to be with Yahuwah. When your covenant ended, you were to cut your hair. You were to shave your beard. You were to make a sacrifice to Yahuwah.
Wear zizi on the four corners of your garments, which is to wear the tassels of the zizis, and remembrance to show that we are Yahuwah's people, that we are, remember his covenant, that he is around us at all times.
The laws of whoever touched a corpse. But what happens when you touch a corpse? You become unclean, and there are ways to become unclean. Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance. Yahuwah made a specific law of inheritance, and he said the nearest relative gets the inheritance. If there is no one found, the next person closest to that person gets the inheritance.
Law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah. When you make an oath to Yahuwah, you are to keep it. If you swear to Yahuwah you are going to do something, you have to do it. Now, if you were a female in a household, whether you're a daughter or a wife, the husband or the dad could sigh and say, no, that's not it. But if you're a man and you make an oath, then you must go through with your oath.
And this is probably the second of the greatest commandments that I can think of, and I'm not re-trumping Messiah Yahushua, but this commandment is do not add or take away from the word. Now, the greatest of the commandments, I believe, is to love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all of your heart, with all of your mind, with all of your soul. And if we had do not add and do not take away from this word as an understanding, this is what it is, then by default, we would love our neighbor with all of our, we'd love him as much as we love ourselves, because that's what the Torah is. The Torah is about community. It's about compassion. It's about obedience. It's about everybody falling in under a jurisdiction. It's about following in under the proper way. And so when we add to it, when we take away from it, it doesn't matter what we do, right? It doesn't matter how we do it or how we say it. If we're adding a slightest inkling of anything to anywhere, all food has been made clean, right? Whoa, those are fighting words in of themselves, right? You can't say that all food has been made clean. Those would be lies, and you would be deceiving. And so these are the problems we get into, is when we don't keep Deuteronomy 4:2, which is just one of my favorite verses of all times, and it's the problem that all of us have gotten into. It's a problem that the entire world has gotten into, right? It's a problem that 400,000 different religions are all breaking, because every single one of these religions add to and they take away from the word.
Guard your soul. And now this is an important command as well. To guard your soul is to protect yourself, to protect your salvation, to protect your chance at the kingdom. And guarding your soul is keeping the Torah and staying away from the Satanism, staying away from the evil of this world. To guard your soul is to keep the commands of Yahuwah.
Learn to fear Yahuwah. We're supposed to fear Yahuwah. We're supposed to respect him. We're supposed to know that if we sin against him, we will be punished and we will be cursed.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart. The most important command is we should be loving Yahuwah with everything we have. Bind the Torah upon your hands and the frontlets between your eyes. Now, when you go out, you're supposed to look at the Torah through the lens of the Torah. When you go out and you go through life, when you make a decision, it should be based upon the Torah. Is this Torah based? Is this a good decision to make? Is this something that's going to make Yah happy?
Right, the laws on your doorpost. We're supposed to put the laws on our doorpost around us. We're supposed to have the laws when we go in and out of our house. We're supposed to see the laws. Our lives are supposed to be surrounded by the laws so that we never forget them, so that we know who we belong to.
Okay, so stop right there, because Sarah says, why did the Jews write it on paper and put it in a trinket and put it on their door? But it's not the Jews that do it. All of us are supposed to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, you just have to put it on your doorpost. It doesn't matter how you put the laws. You can write them by hand. You put them in a torch roll and put them on a thing.
Right. So here's the thing, right? Number one is the entire concept of writing. This is the doorpost, right? Writing what everyone needs to understand is that when we bind the Torah, the laws upon our hand and the frontlets between our eyes, right? How would we do that, gentlemen, without physically doing this? How would we do this? How would we make sure they're bound to our heart, mind, and soul?
We'd memorize them.
We'd read them.
We'd obey them.
We would obey them. We'd be informed about them. They would become everything part of our lives. Now, in Judaism, they've definitely taken this a step further. And they also did this in the show, the TV show, The Chosen. They are heavily Judaistic in all of the white tzitzits, as far as having, I don't even know what they call it, the commandments of the door. What is it called? The mezuzahs? Mezuzahs. They literally will kiss the mezuzahs walking in the door, right? They will kiss their hand and then they'll kiss the mezuzah. We don't have commandments for this, right? If this is what we are doing to really truly remember the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, then let's do it, right? That's fine. But if we're doing it for show, and this is what we're doing is like the Jews will write this up and they put it in a little black box. It looks like Saturn's block, like the cube, like Mecca, like the little satanic box that they have, right? They put it on that and then they wrap it and they go all the way down their arm in a show of all of this. And they that's one way they do it. And then they also will pop these up on the door. Now we have mezuzahs here at our house. We have them in there. We do not kiss our hand walking in the door. One thing that we also did when we built this house is you could not actually enter the house unless you step over scriptures. And so in front of every door in the cement, we have scriptures that we put in a Ziploc bag, laid them in this concrete, and stuck them in there. So you can't actually walk in this house unless you step over the scriptures. Now that goes a little bit further, right? There's no laws, there's no statutes, there's no commandments or saying anything like this, like you must put the scriptures based upon the footing of your door or something of the sort. We just did that because that's what we do. So why people will, they will put it on their door and kiss him, do his thing. Again, that's Judaism, and that's one thing that we're not for. We're not for man-made religions and the traditions of men. It's a lot like the head coverings for women, right? Women are like, well, why do we do this? Paul says that women should be wearing head coverings and all this stuff. Well, why does Paul say this? Well, Paul says it because he was a Jew. He studied under Gamaliel, I think was his name, who was the greatest Jew of all time, right? And so when Paul's like, women, you need to cover your head, and we don't have any of this anywhere in scriptures, we're like, how did Paul figure this out? Well, that's the same for Judaism, right? In their oral Torah, that women have to. There's a whole set of rules for women, right? Number one, they can't learn the Torah. They can't. They're like lesser creatures in Judaism than men are. And it's where was I going with this, folks?
We're talking about the mezuzahs and the doorposts.
There was something else I was going with this.
Jewishness and Paul.
Yeah, Jewishness and Paul. I don't know. I think I lost it, but I think I got the point anyway. The point is that it's, going to the headdress covers. So back to that. Women are like, well, should I wear headdress covers or not? And I'm like, if you want to wear a headdress covering, if it makes you feel closer or makes you, the gals over in the Muslim world, right? They wear the full-on Habib things or hijabs, whatever they call them, because it's not just a religious thing, but it's also men don't want women or other men gawking at their women, right? There's a lot of things to it. I'm not for it either one way or another, but if it's something that you guys feel like you want to get closer or you want to, like, I don't know, right? We don't have any Torah, right? There's nothing that says women need to cover their heads or do anything of the sort, right? It would be if you want to do this as part of your walk with your Creator, but it's not something that is Torah based. All right, I've done the rambling. You guys roll on.
Do not tempt Yahuwah. Or else tempt Yahuwah. We're not supposed to lead him to anger or trying to hurt us. Because if we sin, we are tempting Yahuwah. We start cursing Yahuwah, going astray with Gentiles. And Yahuwah was being tempted by us to hurt us. And he was talking about Moshe. He says, the people continually tempt me with their sins.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah. Anything we do, we should be keeping the Torah. We should weigh things by the Torah. To look right according to the Torah. And that is how we can do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah. Do not be afraid of your enemies. Yahuwah said he fights for us. He fights for his people. And if we have fear, we have a lack of faith in Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah. We should remember Yahuwah in everything that we do. We should remember his commands. Remember him. We're not supposed to forget him. And if we are teaching his name as different things, we forget him. We go astray and we start doing things with Gentiles.
Circumcise your heart. Just like the physical circumcision leads into a covenant with Yahuwah, we need to circumcise our heart and enter another covenant with Yahuwah that we love him and obey him. Cleave to Yahuwah. You are to strive to be with Yahuwah. You are to get close to Yahuwah. That is the goal of life, is to become one of Yah's people, to become close to Yahuwah.
We're supposed to swear by his name. We're supposed to swear by the name of Yahuwah. When we're to make an oath, we're supposed to swear by Yahuwah's name, and if we were lying about something, then Yahuwah would punish us.
Destroy graven images. Back in the day, if you saw a graven image around, you would destroy it and get rid of it. Nowadays, you can't do that without going to prison. Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim. Yahuwah says he wants us to believe by faith and not by sight. He wants us to worship him in spirit and not in physical form. We do not need to build him an idol. He does not want to have statues. He does not want to have gold. He does not want to have wood. He does not want to have anything built as a thing for him. He wants us to worship him in spirit and in faith.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with. Everything that Yahuwah has blessed us with, another day, air, water, food, that we're still alive, that is the blessing from Yahuwah, and rejoice in everything that Yahuwah has blessed us with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes. If it looks correct by your own eyes, but not correct according to the Torah, do not do it. Do not hearken to the words of the false prophets. If a prophet leads you, goes leading astray, saying, "Let us follow other mighty ones," you are to take him out and you are to stone him. You are not supposed to listen to evil prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. If someone dies, you're not supposed to make any baldness. If you have hair, eyebrows going between your eyes, you're not supposed to make it bald.
You should not eat any abominable thing. You should only eat the clean food that Yahuwah has told us is clean. We should not eat anything that he told us is unclean.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Okay.
You should not give a stranger clean food that dies, but you shall give to a stranger clean food that dies itself, but you should not eat of it. If an animal dies in your possession, and it is clean, then you can give it to a stranger, so they have food, but you should not eat of it.
Give your tithe of your increase of seed year by year, just like the other commands, just like the feast of first fruit, just like not reaping your field and your vineyard when it is complete. You are to give tithe the Yahuwah of your seed year by year. Laws of the end of the 7-year release. At the end of 7 years is similar to a jubilee. Things like slaves and debts are all released.
Do not borrow from the nations. We're not supposed to borrow from the nations. We're not supposed to take loans from those outside of the Torah commandment under the covenant. If we do, then we become slaves to them, we become indebted to them, and bad things happen when you're indebted to people who do not believe the same laws as you.
Do not harden your heart nor shoot your hand from the poor. If there's a poor person who needs help, help them out how you can. Do not shun him, help him out. God month, one of Yahuwah's calendar. It's an important month to Yahuwah. This month is the month that starts the feast. It is the beginning of the year for him. It is an important time for Yahuwah.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah. Who wants people to go to his feast 3 times a year, who's to go to the temple where Yahuwah appointed. That temple no longer exists, so we cannot go back to where Yahuwah commands to, but we can still keep his feasts.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates. Back in the day when the land was holy, you would put Torah-keeping people as officers and judges so they could rightly rule the people. Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar. You should not be planting Asherah poles at all, but especially not near the altar of Yahuwah. That is an abomination. That is a slap in the face. That is just disrespectful.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses. If there is a matter and you're trying to show some evidence, you have to be 2 or 3 witnesses. It could not be by the mouth of one person. It had to be 2 or 3 people or more, so that this matter could be established, or you would say that someone is sinning.
Hearken to the prophet Yahuwah has chosen. If a prophet comes and is proven by what they're saying is true, then you should listen to them. They are from Yahuwah. The prophet test of Deuteronomy. There is a test. There is a way to see if the prophet is a true or not. And there is a way to see if what he says comes to pass and he is true. But if he says, "Let us follow other mighty ones, let us do other things that do not come to pass," then he is to be taken out and stoned.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line. If you have property and you start moving your line a little more, so you get the extra few inches of your land, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to keep everything equal, fair, and balanced. And if you start taking something from your neighbor, there will be punishments to pay.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers. If there is someone who is lying and it's found that they're lying, then they would get the same punishment they were trying to give on other people. The first child is to get double portions. The first child is to take care of the family. When mom and dad pass, they are to build up the rest of the family. They are to be the one that is most responsible, the one that is able to take care of the family and able to help build up the rest of the family.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them. So if something of your brother's goes missing and an animal runs away, or you find their clothes somewhere, you're supposed to give it back to them. You're supposed to return it to them. It's not belong to you. It is not finders keepers whose weepers. It is bring it back to the person that belongs to.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman. Women should not try and look like men, and men should not try and look like women. If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies, or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother. Now, if you find this nest and it is in danger, and the mother cannot provide for the babies, you're going to take the babies because the babies cannot defend themselves, but the mother can fly on and she can create more of the eggs.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that's already lived on, you must put a railing around it. A lot of times back in the day, people would have a flat roof that you could live on. It'd be like the extra room you could sleep on, put the guests up there. But people would tumble off. So this became a law. So that people didn't tumble off. You put a railing around it, right? So people didn't like fall off the side and die off your house. Now a lot of days there aren't a lot of flat roofs. There are some still in the Middle East, but most times they have a point you really can't sleep on the roof anymore.
Do not be a prostitute. That is an abomination before Yahuwah. Anyone who was will be put to death. Do not use dirty money. You're not take dirty money. You're not supposed to use it in the house of Yahuwah. You're not supposed to get rid of it. It is unholy. It is unkodesh. And Yahuwah is very upset about people using dirty money in this house.
The law of divorce. When two people are married and they no longer love each other and they're having issues, Yahuwah said that they can write a letter of divorcement and they can man give it to the wife, and they go their separate ways and they never go back to each other.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge. Back when they were doing a pledge and pledge a millstone was the most important thing that they had back then. They couldn't make food without it, they couldn't make money, they couldn't do anything. So a person could basically not live if you took their millstone. If you lend your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset, if that was his pledge. Back in the day, people would lend their clothing. They only had a single 1 or 2 pairs of clothing, one for the day, one for the night. And if they gave up their night clothes for a pledge, you were to bring it to them before the nightfall. They did not get cold in the night.
Then a person hired servant that's poor and needy. If someone is poor and needy and you start oppressing them, that doesn't do anyone any good. That's not great. They're already having a hard time in life, and they came to you to work for you, and you start being mean to them, disrespectful to them, and how much better you are than them, and it really doesn't do any good for anyone.
It meant every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Children are not put to death for the father's sins, and fathers not put to death for the children's sins. Everyone's put to death for their own equal sins. Do not go back for the gotten sheaves in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow. If you were packing up the harvest and you had the rest of the harvest that you forgot, if you forgot pieces of it, you obviously had excess. So Yahuwah says, leave it for the people that cannot defend for themselves.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain. You're supposed to let him eat. You're supposed to let him breathe. If you muzzle him while he's working, that is torturing the animal.
If your brother dies and their child shall take his wife, name the firstborn after your brother. This is a way of keeping your brother's name on through all generations, so he wouldn't be forgotten. At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. This was a way to have the people that could not read, that could not understand the Torah, that did not have access to a synagogue. If the people were to gather together at Sukkot and they were supposed to read the Torah to the people so that they would have a remembrance of the Torah.
Okay, so there you go, everybody. Those who are free and those who are not free. As I am now speaking to all of my brothers and sisters in chains that are out there, and for those of you who are in chains, this will probably be one of the very first times that we're talking directly to you and addressing you guys and trying to show you guys these beautiful statutes and commandments. Now, I know a lot of you guys are doing, 5, 10, 15, 20 life, and you'll never ever get out. But freedom is not based on the inside. Freedom is based upon what you are able to achieve. And a lot of us will never ever be free in this world, but what we have is we have the Torah of freedom. And in the Torah is perfect liberty. And in the Torah is perfect justice. And a lot of us have seen man's laws. A lot of us have seen the corruption and just the way things are. But this is the reason that we want to strive, that we want to cling to a new set of laws, a new set of regulations, a new government, a government of the Creator, his government, and based upon the kingsmanship of his Son. And this is who we want to be and who we want to be a part of. And so this is what the Torah does, is this establishes you for the kingdom role. All right, so here we are. We are in an incredible book, incredible chapter, Bereshith, Genesis chapter 6. And this is, for those who have studied scriptures before, we know Genesis 6 is it's kind of a sketchy one, because we don't have a lot of describing words of exactly how things went down. It's just, it says certain things, and we're going to go over that. But the interesting thing is in Genesis 5, that chapter alone spans 1,800 years. And so when we are looking at the timetable of scriptures and it says one line will be one thing and the next line will be something. We have to understand that it's not it's not the next week usually, right? It's probably not the next day. Some of these times could be days, weeks, years. And so when we span 1,800 years in one chapter, a lot of people will get confused and it's just like, how can this happen? Well, Genesis 6 is the chapter of giants, and unless we had the book of Enoch, this is all we have. And I have seen the religious system out there; they can't explain Genesis 6. They can't explain at all. And what they have is they don't understand what sons of Elohim are. They don't understand how this whole system went out. And the last thing anybody is ever going to do is try to believe that somehow angels mated with humans. And this is the spoiler alert for Genesis 6. Now, before we get to that, Jade, will you please give us a recap of what we got from Genesis 1 all the way to there? And Eli, let's get the presentation going. You got pictures for all this.
Who created the heavens and the earth? He created everything within 6 days. The seventh day he rested. He created Adam and Eve on the sixth day. And he gave them a few commands to take care of the garden and don't eat of a specific tree. It's known as the tree of good and evil. And as they were living in the garden, a little serpent, a snake came up to him and started talking to Eve. And
Think he was little?
I mean, yeah.
Think he's a 5-foot thing before he's a snake?
I would say he's decent size. I mean, got her attention.
Yeah.
And he was like, go ahead, eat of this tree. You're not going to die. Yahoo doesn't want you to be equal with him. All these things. And they ate of it. Eve ate of it. Then she went and gave it to Adam. Adam ate of it. And then they covered up. They realized they were naked. They were perfect. They were innocent. And Yahuwah came walking through the garden and he said, why are you guys covered up? Why are you guys know this? What did you eat of the tree? Not to. And they played the blame game. Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. The serpent got punished. They got kicked out of the garden. And then they had Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, punished. Yahuwah punished him for all of time. He ended up being killed hundreds of years later. And they had another child named Sheth, and he went and had generations that lead up to our Messiah. And they had a kid. Last chapter went over the genealogy of how it went through each person. They lived a very, very long time at this point. They were living up to like about 900 years or so. So they were living a very, very long time.
Yeah, okay. And so, Eli, you are my picture guy. You make sure, I think you look through these and what we're doing. Here we are, guys. Bereshith, Genesis, chapter 6. And it came to be, when men began to increase on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were good. And they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. Okay. So we have something right here that says the sons of Elohim. And this is where a lot of people, especially in the Christian religion, they refuse the giants. Like, they refuse this whole thing. Like, they will not believe anything you say. So who would the sons of Elohim be? Who would the sons of Elohim be? Would the devil? Would Satan be a son of Elohim?
I mean, he was created by Elohim, so technically yes.
I mean, isn't everything technically starting off the son of Elohim?
Yeah.
But here's the difference is that when it refers to men, it goes to sons of man. When it refers to humans, the sons of Elohim implies that it was not from man. It implies that it was not born from man.
Yeah, and so, I mean, essentially, we are all sons of Elohim in all of this. And so don't let that get you to wrapped up on this whole thing. So we have these things, and, we'll do a spoiler alert. These are from the book of Enoch. These are what you call the Watchers. These are the angels. They're called the Watchers because they were supposed to come down, and they had one job to do. What was their job, folks?
To watch over the humans.
To watch the humans, right? So we had this. But, of course, like all the people that have one job to do, they just didn't get the job done. In fact, they really screwed everything completely up to the degree of where we are at today. So, I guess this humanity, have we got the short end of the stick at any point here? At any point, did we have a fair shake at this?
I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, we knew we had. I mean, Adam and Eve. First of all, they had the command. They said, "Don't do it," and they disobeyed. I mean,
so we had a fair shake to this point, right?
When it comes to the messengers, I don't think we stand much of a chance.
But it's like if we had something, or say we have like a pet mouse, and we put the pet mouse in with a cage full of snakes, is it fair to the pet mouse? Is he going to have a good life? Is he going
No,
to?
he's not gonna make it long.
Is going to be tough. And so there's something to be said that, yes, we had a fair shake. We had a fair shake until Adam and Kawa broke us away from the good of life. But now we are in the middle of something. And again, we're talking lots and lots and lots of years. And so these are the watchers. And continuing on in verse 3. And Yahuwah said, my Ruach shall not strive with mankind forever in his going astray. He is flesh, and his days shall be 120 years. Okay, I don't know if we just got cursed here or if we just got realigned. But prior to our days being 120 years, what were they?
Like 1,000.
1,000 years?
A little under 1,000, basically.
1,000 years. And we get from the second book of Second Ezra that the reason that we did this is because Yahuwah said, well, if you had 1,000 years to live, look at the evil that man could do in 80 years. Look at the Soroses, and look at the Peter Thiels, and look at all these guys, right? And do you guys know that you can't actually say Peter Thiel's name? You can wrap the letters up, and it actually is the reptile. So when you look at the people that are controlling the world, it is, the letters all up. I mean, is it coincidence? But these are the people of the evil. And so imagine these Soroses and Gates and Rumpsteins that had 500 years to live. Imagine this, like these people almost try to kill off humanity every 100 years they get, them and their genocidal family and all these people that are trying to kill off the world. Imagine these guys. I mean, this is the greatest thing that we have ever been given right here, is this verse, that these monsters have a lifespan of 120 years. Now, of course, you have George Soros. He had 8 or 9 heart transplants. He gets the little 12-year-olds and pops a heart transplant in there and thinks he's going to live forever. And that demon might. You never know. But this is a good thing that we only have 120 years, because we would be up against a lot more monsters than these ones that just die off and give us some peace after their reign of terror. For the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of Elohim came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, the men of name. Okay, so it went from the watchers to verse 4, where it talks about the Nephilim. Now, the Nephilim are what? And I guess we should, if you guys have little kids, you probably shouldn't be watching this, guys. So, yeah, go to the next one. Let's not do the monsters eating the kids. Go to another giant or something. Go to that dude. Now, this dude isn't really represented, because we know the Nephilim all had 6 fingers and 6 toes.
That's cool, though.
It is cool. Look at that thing. Hold on. Look at his toes on there. We'll go on the big screen. And we're having some distribution issues, guys. You're still looking at it smaller than it should be on the screen. Next week, we hope that we'll have this fixed, so you guys will actually see the whole screen instead of our little landscape mode. But we have the Nephilim, right? They're on earth. And so you had the watchers. You had the fallen angels, the angels that went and bred with the females, humans. And their very first generation were the Nephilim. The second generation of the Nephilim were the Nephilim. And then you had another one that they called the Eliyahu. But every single generation, we're not talking 1, 2, 3. We're talking 50 years, 60 years, and another 50 years, whatever it is. These things kept getting bigger and bigger. So you had the watchers, they had their set of kids, and then those set of kids had their set of kids, and their set of kids had their set of kids. And by the time you're done, these beings are ginormous, man-slaying killers. This is what you have. And this one you have, this would probably be me. I'd probably be upside down right here. This guy holding me in the hand right there. There's me hanging, fighting the monsters. 5. And Yahuwah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Okay, does this sound like today?
Yeah.
We live in a world, and everybody's bombing everybody. Everybody's blowing everybody up. It's just, it never ends. You have Epstein files that never ever end. You have pedophiles that run this earth. I mean, this is again why we're completely shadow banned. This is an example of shadow banning on us. I've just given you guys another example of why we have 50,000 subs and 200 views. is because I speak the truth. And I'd rather have the truth than sugarcoat it and not giving you guys what I believe is the actual truth. Continuing on, number 6, verse 6. And Yahuwah was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. That's a sad thing, right?
Yeah.
This is us, right? He was sad that Yahuwah made man.
He regretted us.
You think he was more sorry that he kicked the watcher, or you think he was what's worse, the man went, or his entities, the watchers, went and deceived his things? I mean, Satan, I guess, is the worst of the worst, right? I mean, if we have to line up what is the most biggest disappointment, I would have to say it's the destroying of the creation.
Just like poor Yah, man. He can't win with his own creations. Like, they give him free will and they just start doing evil.
That's the problem with free will. And that's the amazing thing with free will, is we are not robots. We can choose good and evil. We can choose right and wrong. We can choose Torah parts or Torah lessness, right? We have it. We can do whatever we want to do. And that's why most of mankind never ever chooses the Torah. Now, 7. And Yahuwah said, I am going to wipe off man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping creature and birds of the Shamayim, for I am sorry that I have made them. Now, I feel a little bit better because it's just not mankind that he felt bad. He's like Yahuwah's going off on everything, right?
At some point, I believe the giants would have wiped out all of mankind.
They would have. They absolutely would have. Yeah, no, it alludes to that in Enoch quite a bit. That it wasn't going good. It went from the giants defiling, and again, I don't know what defiling means, but it says defiling the animals to them basically defiling the man. And so their appetites got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they were not able to feed. And so they were having little human snacks, little 6-foot human snacks. Let's see. 8. But Noach, the man Noach, found favor in the eyes of Yahuwah. This is the genealogy of Noach. Noach was a righteous man, perfect in his generations. Noach walked with Elohim, and Noach brought forth 3 sons, Shem, Cam, and Japheth. And the earth was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. Okay, the very first thing that we have if you are being indicted for why does the world have to be judged, it was right here, right? It was corrupt and it was filled with violence. And so when we look at today's world and we look at violence, that's all we know, right? Is the military industrial complex of the great North American machine. That's all they know is violence, right? Oh, I'm going to go drop some bombs. Let's go bomb somebody, right? Let's go kill off a school of girls. Okay, what do you got?
We know from the books of Yashar and Enoch that the giants also taught the humans how to make fire, how to make weapons, how to make makeup. Basically, every possible bad thing that the humans could ever had were given from the fallen, and they lost. They got power hungry as well and started killing each other off with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the reason we know how to make fire. This is the reason that women put on costly like the jewelments and the paint stuff. What's that stuff called? Makeup. Yeah, sorry. They put up makeup. My wife hasn't worn that for like 30 years, 40 years, something like that. 25, 28. We're getting old here. 23, whatever. It hasn't been on there. And so those are the things that the fallen angels have taught mankind, right? Those kind of things. And so we learned way more than we should have learned. We and obviously, we learned violence, or at least how to run away from violence. 12. And Elohim looked upon the earth and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And Elohim said to Noach, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And see, I am going to destroy them from the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and outside with tar. And this is how you are to make it. The length of the ark is 300 𝐤𝐄. Make sure you zoom in because the screen is like super small over there on that screen. The length of the ark is 300 𝐤𝐄. Its width 50 𝐤𝐄 and its height 30 𝐤𝐄. Make a window for the ark and complete it to an 𝐤𝐄 from above. All right, is there a window up at the top? And we have an 𝐤𝐄 from above? Looks like a bunch of windows up there on this one. We don't know of any other windows on this. Let's see. Go to mine. I got another one of the ark.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, this one right here. Is that one mine?
This one?
This one? No, that's the outer wall.
That.
Go to this one. Is it this one?
I think the other one's the one you got.
Oh, maybe that was the first one I got. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This one has, doggone it. This one has windows. Here, zoom that in, wait. I've just done it.
Scroll up.
I've done it. Hold on. We're trying to get some pictures here. Zoom in. It's not going to let it. There it is. Zoom in. So it looks like they all have windows up there. But this is obviously not the rendition of what's in the scriptures. And put the door of the ark in its side. Make it lower second and third decks. And see, I myself, I am bringing flood waters on the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life from under the Shamayim. All that is on the earth is to die. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons, and your wife, and your sons' wives with you, and all of the living creatures of all flesh, 2 of each, you are to bring into the ark to keep them alive with you, a male and a female. Jade?
So we know from the book of Jasher that it took him only 5 years to build the ark. And the other 115 he was using to basically tell the people that the flood's coming. His job was to try to change these people's minds.
Yeah, and that was the thing, is he was the ambassador for the pre-judgment. He was the pre-judgment preacher. He was out there trying to convince all of these people to go at this and to stop their wicked ways.
And you just know these people are laughing at him, continuing their evil. Like, this guy's crazy.
Oh yeah,
Like the single guy out there just saying, "Hey, you're gonna all die in a flood." They're probably like, "Yeah, whatever."
yep. And it's the days of Noah are no different than the days of us, right? I mean, we go out there, we plead, we beg people to look at the laws of our Creator, to simply consider them, to maybe include them in their lives, to maybe find the value that we have found in them. And they'll laugh at us, right? Joanna was talking about this, right? She was sitting there having to duel it out with these guys, right? And they will laugh, and it's at their own expense, right? I mean, that same laughter is going to be tears when they're in Sheol, when they're in a place of misery, when they're in a place of rejection, when the Creator of the universe has rejected them, when Messiah says, "Depart from me, you who are Torah-less." And all of these people that are laughing, and as bad as we feel, we're probably going to feel worse because they have doomed themselves by their own ignorance. And that's all you can see, right? You can just see these people laughing at their own expense as this train comes and just mows them completely over. Continuing on, 20. Of the birds after their kind, and of the cattle after their kind, and of all creeping creatures of the earth after their kind, 2 of each are to come to you, to keep them alive. As for you, take of all food that is eaten, and gather it to yourself, and it shall be for you and for them. And Noah did according to all that Elohim commanded him, so he did. Now there's other, I think it's the book of Jasher that has a much better account of this, and some makes you go kind of things, because there's one account I remember that all of the animals came, and I think it was, do you guys remember in this book, it was the animals that bowed before
Lions.
the lions, wasn't it? There were like lions that bowed before him or something of the sort. But it was an interesting, there were like lions and their cubs, the lioness and her cubs, and they were all coming, and it was only the cubs that got to get on the boat. And so it was, there was accounts of some of the cubs fighting off the mother. It was a weird thing, right? For those who understand, animals, a mother and her cubs, they're pretty much inseparable until they move on and they grow up on their own. So to have things like this happen, and for all these animals to come, and there's a unity, right? You're not going to be able to bring in 100 different animals into a room without some kind of action, right? Us as people, imagine this, right? You bring in 2 of anything, you're going to have some kind of wars. So right out of the gate, we have an incredible supernatural event that is happening here, where you're able to gather all of these animals that, one's a predator, one's the prey, right? All the way down the food chain, all the way from the ones that should be consuming all the ways to the end. Those are all what went together, and in this unified fashion that only the Creator of the universe is going to be able to orchestrate, was this event. And can you imagine seeing this? Can you imagine being in a tree on the outskirts, watching all these animals come, watching all of this, and you could probably see the groups of people that are after Noah. There's probably people watching him because, they're starting to get a little sketchy what's going on. Now he's loading up all these animals. What's this guy doing? So there's a lot of interesting things that we can definitely cover and talk about on this stuff. But it's an incredible reading. All right, let's get into our next one. We are into the book of Yahushua, chapter 6. And so, Jade, take us. We have a recap image too. Jade, take us into the recap of. Just take us from the death of Moshe to where we are with Joshua.
So Moshe brought Yahushua before the people, and he said, "This is going to be your new leader." He told Yahushua, "Be strong and courageous," and said it a few times. He went up on the mountain, passed away, and Yahushua took command of the children of Israel. And Yahushua talked to him directly and said, "Be strong and courageous, and do as I tell you to do. Obey the commands." And he did. He's doing a pretty good job so far being a leader of Israel. And Yahuwah showed his power again because they came across the Jordan River, and it's a big river with all these hundreds of thousands of people. And how do we cross? So Yahuwah did what he does. He did a miracle for them. He split the sea for them, and he told 12 of the people to grab rocks, one from each tribe, and they would stack it up at the very end and show the people there would be a remembrance, basically a little memorial, that this was the place of where Yahuwah let them pass, and they had to be obedient and do exactly what Yahuwah said, or they would not have made it.
I gotta go back because I missed something that I had set up. Go into the notes because we have something from Genesis. Hold on. Sorry guys, we're just trying to get in this. All right, here's a question. This is for everybody that's out there as well. But this is mostly for you guys. This is where these little questions I said I had a lot that I was going to do. So here you are, everybody. What made Noah different from everyone else around him? Was it simply that he was righteous? Or what practical choices do you think he made every day that set him apart? Go.
Well, it said that he trusted Yahuwah, that he believed in Yahuwah. So, I would say that him being righteous definitely set him apart compared to the rest of the world.
You think he what else? I mean, was there anything different? Do you think he lived away from the people? Do you think he what was different about this dude?
Besides the skin?
Besides his skin. And when most people out there won't know what that means, besides his skin, somebody want to relate what his skin, at least what it was when he was a baby.
So when Noah was born, his skin was completely white, like snow white, glowing with like blue eyes, and that nobody else was like that at the time. So it really freaked out Methuselah, and he went off to Enoch and said, "Hey, I think
Lamech, Methuselah."
Methuselah went to Lamech,
yeah.
I think, because he's like afraid that his son's wife was with a Nephilim. He's like, I don't know what happened here. How did this happen? He goes, no, it's fine. Everything's okay.
Shining like a light bulb. Was that kid? Okay, let's set the next one. Genesis 6 says, every inclination of mankind's heart was continually evil. How do thoughts eventually become actions? And what can we do to guard our hearts before sin takes root?
One of us supposed to master sin. So if we are continually reading the Torah and in Torah and obeying Yahuwah, that's not going to take root, because we know when we get evil thoughts to cast them out, to get rid of them.
Right, and that's the thing about the Torah. I think you made a great point on that, Jade. Unless we have the Torah, we don't know what evil is. We don't know what sin is, right? That's the problem. And you can't just go, hum-de-dum-de-dum, I just never picked up the book and read it, yada, yada, yada. It's not going to go like this, right? We have all had actions, especially in this generation, the end times that we're in, 6,000 years beyond when creation was. We all have these. 200, 300 years ago, it might have been a little different. You might not have been able to read or write or different things of this nature. But all of us have this opportunity right now to do this. And unless we know the Torah, we won't know what the heart, mind, and soul of our Creator is. Okay, next question. Why do you think Yahuwah waited before bringing judgment instead of acting immediately?
Well, it gives them a chance to repent. It's a chance to find him, because Yahuwah says everyone gets a chance to, come back to him. Everyone gets a chance to hear the word. So he gave Noah time to go and preach. Noah was kind of like his preacher, right? That was his little evangelist guy going around saying, repent because the end is near.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
This reminded me, and this is not to pick on the United States of America, because I love you all out there. I'm picking on it as a country in of itself. You guys remember the Tav? Remember the eclipses that went across the U.S.? And it went across one time, it went at one, then went across the other, put a big old X right in the middle of it. I saw a dude the other day, and he was going, this is a bunch of malarkey, that these signs, nothing ever happened. It came and it went, and the United States is still rocking as hard as it possibly can. And it's one of these things, you're like, is it? Is it really going like good? Is America looking as great as it used to be back in when I was a child? What is this looking at, right? And so these are the same things that judgment. We have signs before judgment, right? Nothing is just like, okay, I'm going to completely wipe out North America. I'm going to judge it, right? There are signs, right? We were given an eclipse. We were given like, okay, well, maybe we should do it. The part of this other question is, what does this chapter teach us about Yahuwah's patience, mercy, and justice?
Well, it shows he gives time. He gives a lot of time.
He has a lot of patience.
So he basically gave 120 years, the full lifetime. And which we don't have yet, but it will be a full lifetime for the people after Noah.
Yeah.
So he gave them a full lifetime to repent, and I mean, he wants us to turn back. He wants us. He doesn't just want to. Okay, I'm going to kill you all you're evil. Because I want you to come back.
Yeah,
to
he
me.
didn't create us just to destroy us. He created us to try to find a path back to Him.
And they people had the chance to come back to Him. They had a chance to stop being evil. Because I mean, if they would have just listened to Noah, they could have got on the boat as well. There could have been a lot more people than there were.
Yeah.
But they didn't repent, and they didn't care to repent until it was far too late.
The identity of the sons of, and we went over this, but this is a question. The identity of the sons of Elohim has been debated for centuries. What does this mean?
Messengers, the angels.
Messengers,
sons of
all
Elohim,
of us,
yeah.
right? We're all sons. We're sons of Adam. We're sons of Elohim. I mean, we're created in His image. I mean, the Pops is Yahuwah, right? That's who our genealogy comes from. Okay, next question. Violence filled the earth in Noah's day. In what ways do you see violence, oppression, or moral corruption becoming normalized in today's world?
Well, I mean, we had wars for years.
And how should the followers of Yahuwah respond?
Oh well, we should not be involved with violence. I mean, everyone's out there. Everyone wants to fight everyone. Everyone's starting wars.
It's become very normalized with wars, television.
Yeah. Everybody. I mean, that's all we've ever seen.
Everything in media is
You guys
violence.
grew up when the United States was in war.
Yeah.
In the 250 years that the United States has been a country, there's only been like 13 or 14 years that it has not been at war with somebody, either inside or something else. So as far as the hammer of the entire world, there could be no other place than the United States of America. So when we see all of these things, the violence, oppression, moral corruption, what is that telling us about the future?
That the return is near. That this is the signs of the end.
Signs are, yeah. I mean, we can only go so far, right? There's only so much of a tone we can have before the crystal breaks the glass, right? And so we're getting to that crescendo. All right, a couple more questions. Noah spent how many years building the ark before the flood came? How do we remain faithful when obedience requires perseverance and we see little immediate evidence that our work is making a difference?
Well, it takes a while. I mean, look at Noah. I mean, he built the ark 120 years. I mean, he didn't know that was going to save his life until the very end, right? He had the ark, and it didn't. He saved him 120 years later. So,
Yeah, and he's a legend,
Yeah.
right? 6,000 years later, 5,000
and
years
results always aren't immediate either. It takes time to see any change or results in your life.
later. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Yahuwah isn't going to just destroy a place. He's going to give people the means. He's going to give them the ability. He's going to give them the people that are His to make changes and do what they need to do. Why do you think Yahuwah gave Noah such detailed instructions for the ark? What does that teach us about trusting His guidance, even when we do not fully understand it?
Well, I mean, this is the right way forward. I mean, if he tells us exactly what to do, I mean, he gave a lot of times when he says stuff, he doesn't give very detailed instructions. But this one he did. He wanted Noah to be safe, and he's like, "This is exactly what you need to do." Because if he would have done it any differently, then his boat probably would have fallen apart.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, and that's the thing is Yahuwah builds. He has incredible stuff. Look at us being built. Look at His temple designs. Look at it. It's like 50 this, 50 loops. Look at creation, right? 7s and 50s. We live creation and the way the sun rises and sets and goes around. I mean, his building plans and engineering is top notch. All right, here we are, guys. Let's go into the book of Yahushua. And don't forget, when I get done, guys, I have questions on that before I get to on the soapbox. Okay, and Jericho was shut up tight because of the presence of the sons of Yisrael. None coming out and none coming in.
I mean, this nation right here is completely scared, right? They've probably heard of the rumors of Israel, what they did come out of Egypt and Moab and all the other places they just simply decimated as they left or went through. So these people, no one can leave the city, no one can come in. They're completely shut up, and here comes this mighty nation before them that's coming after them.
Yeah, they don't know exactly what to think. They're probably terrified. And Yahuwah said to Yahushua, "See, I have given Jericho and its sovereign, mighty brave men into your hand. And you shall go around the city, all the men of the battle going around the city once. Do this for 6 days. And let 7 Kohanim bear 7 ram's horns before the ark. And on the 7th day go around the city 7 times, while the Kohanim blows the horns." Now, we know what Yahuwah's favorite color is. Colors. We know what his favorite colors be.
Blue, purple, and scarlet.
Yeah. And what would his favorite numbers be, maybe?
We know he likes 7s and 50s.
7s and 50s. We have jubilees. We have releases. We have the 7-year release, 50s. So we have 7 Kohanim, 7 ram's horns, and on the 7th day they're going around the city 7 times. That's a lot of 7s. And it shall be, when they make a long blast with a ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the horn, that all the people shout with a great shout. And the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall go up every man straight before him. And Yahushua, son of Nun, called the Kohanim and said to them, "Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 Kohanim bear 7 ram's horns before the ark of Yahuwah." And he said to the people, "Pass over, and go around the city, and let him who is armed pass over before the ark of Yahuwah." Yep.
So this is another big act of faith, because if you think about it, what normal person is going to walk around a building and scream and hopefully it falls down? And that wouldn't happen on an old person. But if you have the faith of Yahuwah, then it will happen.
Yeah, and this is the same thing before, because right before they went over the Jordan, right, we discussed this, that all the armed men went over first, and we were like, well, why do you think the armed men went over first? So here we have the army, and again, the armed men go over before the ark of Yahuwah.
Yeah, because imagine the ark of Yahuwah is in front, and all of a sudden Jericho people come out. The Kohen can't just drop the ark and defend themselves.
Yeah.
So if people of Jericho, they come out and they want to fight these people, they need to have the armed men in front so they can stop them from hurting the rest of the people.
Yeah, they were ready. They were ready for whatever happened to make it happen.
You also have the image I sent about how Jericho was made.
Yeah, let's look at which one.
That one, right?
That one right there.
Yeah.
Wall. Yeah. Yeah. So is this how the wall was?
Yeah, it's like a diagram.
So basically, it was like a cliff face or something of the sort, right? Mm-hmm. And then above that, then you have the walls above that. And so, I guess, spoiler alert, ends up like this. But for now, this is where we're at. Okay. 8. And it came to be when Yahushua had spoken to the people that the 7 Kohanim bearing the 7 ram's horns before Yahuwah passed over and blew the horns. And the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah went after them. And the armed men went before the Kohanim, who blew the horns. And the rear guard came after the ark, going on and blowing the horns. Now, I would bet they didn't have the little weak horn blowers. The guys are like, I bet they had the guys are like,
I have an image of the shofar. Yeah.
Yeah, there you are, right there. Yeah, I bet they had these huge old ram's horns.
These things make loud sound. I think enough of those would cause some sort of disturbance within foundations.
I don't think so, dude. You would have to have a vibrational frequency of that. You would have to have
it'd be a huge magnitude.
You would have to have that cranked into amplifiers and cranked into anything, because you guys seen the crystal glasses, like the ladies can go at the top of their lungs and go, they can hit a certain octave and they can break it. This is not crystal, and this is not a high octave, and so this is. I mean,
this is more of an act of faith.
I think Yahuwah could absolutely do it. Yeah, no, this is an act of faith, no doubt. But it's going to be loud, and it's going to be. The people aren't going to know, right, what's going on. Why are these people outside blowing horns?
Why are they marching around the building?
These people are weird, what's going down? 9. And the armed men who went before the Kohanim, who blew the horns, and the rear guard came after the ark, going on and blowing the horns. But Yahushua had commanded the people, saying, "Do not shout or cause your voice to be heard, nor let any word come out of your mouth until the day I say to you, shout, then you shall shout." Now, number one, he didn't exactly tell them a day or a time on any of this, right? He just said that that don't say a word. Now, what do you think? Do you think that people were whispering? Do you think people said anything? Do you think people this literally didn't say a word?
I don't know. I just not let a word of your mouth come out. No, I think it'd be complete silence.
They were all quiet for 7 days.
I mean, this is probably only when they're going around. I would imagine.
Yeah.
If they go back to their camp, there's no way they're gonna be able to keep kids and everybody else quiet.
I don't think so. I think it's just during the walk around.
So they go out of the camp. Their camp must have been a ways away.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they go to this little area, and then this is where I would say they probably no speaking, no talking, right? And it would be an eerie silence, right? Because you would be able to hear people talking or people grumps. This would just be ram's horns, and it would be a sight to see. It'd be really, kind of sketchy. Okay, 11. And the ark of Yahuwah went around the city, going around once, and they came into the camp and stayed in the camp. And Yahushua rose early in the morning, and the Kohanim took up the ark of Yahuwah. And 7 Kohanim bearing 7 ram's horns before the ark of Yahuwah were walking, going on, and they blew the horns. And the armed men went before them, but the rear guard came after the ark of Yahuwah going on and blowing the horns. And the second day they went around the city once and returned to the camp. Thus they did 6 days. Now the people inside the city are probably sketched out, right?
Yeah, they're probably a little confused. Like, my thing would be like, maybe they're looking for a way in. They're looking for a weakness in the wall or something. Like, why would they be walking around this many times? It doesn't make a lot of sense to them, but...
Yeah. And it came to be on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day and went around the city 7 times in this way. Only on that day they went around the city 7 times. 16. And it came to be at the 7th time when the Kohanim blew the horns that Yahushua said to the people, "Shout, for Yahuwah has given you the city. And the city shall be put under the ban. It and all that is in it belongs to Yahuwah. Only Rechab, the whore, is to live, she and all who are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent." Okay, so this is the day, right? This is the day that they are ready to lock and load this entire thing. Do you think anybody else besides Yahushua knew this? Do you think he gave it to everybody? Did people know it's a 7-day endeavor? Maybe they thought they were back in the desert for 40 years.
Yeah, maybe it could be like 40 years.
We're going to be marching around this thing for 40 years. This is the new thing.
I mean, I don't think he quite told them exactly when. Just hoping that they stay faithful to it.
Yeah. Okay, and when we're talking about putting things under the ban, we are talking about ending a life. This is about destruction, utter destruction. Now, Jericho was a cursed city. And what people need to understand is this is the Canaanite city. That these people were like Satanists, right? I mean, they do all sorts of child sacrifice. They do all sorts of crazy stuff, all their bloodletting, all their bad stuff, right? So when we are dealing with this sort of people, it is beyond the rehabilitation that Yahuwah wanted to give. And so the entire law was to kill everybody, right? That's the way it is. Many people have a problem with this, right? People are like, "Oh, your creator is psycho. He wants to go and kill absolutely everybody." No, he wants to go and kill the corrupted DNA. The people of the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Kittites, the Perizzites, all of these people had giant blood in them, which is interesting because we just did Genesis 6, which really interacts with all of this. The whole reason we're having to destroy these people is because there was bad DNA. And so it's not that our creator hated a certain group of people that were actually not created by him per se, right? These people were not ordained. I mean, they're all sons of Elohim to begin with, but we have corrupted ourselves in our lineage, and now here we are with broken DNA. And we're living in the year 2026, and the beginning of this decade, we also now live with massive broken DNA. That's all I can say about this. 18. And you, by all means, guard yourselves from that which is under the ban, lest you come under the ban when you take of that which is under the ban, and make the camp of Yisrael a curse, and shall trouble it. Funniest thing, right? We all have read scriptures. We all know the spoiler alerts, but these guys didn't figure it out. 19. But all the silver and gold and vessels of bronze and iron are Kodesh to Yahuwah. They go into the treasury of Yahuwah. And the people shouted when the ram's horns were blown, and it came to be when the people heard the sound of the horn, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. And the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they captured the city. Now, what a moment of craziness, right? The people inside, the people outside, the walls fell down. These people are going to be sketched out all the side. All of a sudden, you have these huge defensive walls, and they fall to the ground. You're going to be a little bit sketchy. You're going to be a little bit scared. You probably weren't armed up the way you would have been armed up if you were going out to fight the invaders. Now everybody's probably skedaddling to their house and grabbing their swords and weapons and all sorts of stuff that they thought they were perfectly safe 21. And they put under the ban all that was in the city, both man and woman, old, young and old, and ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword. Now, 21 may seem not a lot of words, but that was a bloody moment. There was a lot of screams, a lot of cries, and a lot of blood. You have a lot of animals, you have a lot of people, and you had a Holocaust of some kind. Now, I won't say too much more on that because I still think we can get in trouble if we say things like that on YouTube. So I'll stop there. 22. And to the two men who had spied out the land, Yahushua said, "Go into the house of the woman, the whore, and from there bring out the woman and all that she has, as you swore to her." And the young men, the spies, went in and brought out Rechab, and her father, and her mother, and her brothers, and all that she had. So they brought out all her relatives and put them outside the camp of Yisrael. And they burned the city and all that was in it with fire. Only the silver and gold and the vessels of bronze and of iron they put into the treasury of the house of Yahuwah. However, Yahushua kept alive Rechab the whore, and her father's household, and all that she had, and she dwelt in the midst of Yisrael to this day, because she hid the messengers whom Yahushua sent to spy out Jericho. Now, is Rechab the whore, is she sitting in Israel today?
Don't think so.
Why does it say this? Why do all my scriptures tell me this all the time? It tells me that Lot's wife is a salt lick that's there to this day.
Well, because when it was written, and whoever wrote that, it was still to that day. It's like, it says written, 40 years later, she would still be probably alive. She'd be in the camp.
Yes, and so there's a lot of things, and there's still probably some things that are buried up there to this day.
Salt Lake maybe still somewhere.
You think the Salt Lake's there?
Maybe.
That would be on the internet. Surely they'd have a webcam on
Might be,
Lot's wife.
buried completely down somewhere.
Dude, we'd have the cows licking the Salt Lake every day and having it come back to the Salt Lake every night, every morning. That would be the coolest thing ever. Look, there's Lot's wife right here. You guys don't believe the Bible? Here's Lot's wife. Okay, 25. Did I do?
Yeah.
Okay, 26. And Yahushua warned them at the time, saying, "Cursed is the man before Yahuwah who rises up and builds this city Jericho. He lays his foundation with his firstborn, and with his youngest he puts up its gates." Okay, anyone want to take a stab at this curse, and anyone want to take a stab at when this was actually fulfilled? Eli, come back away. Come on.
So, they're cursed. These people are cursed.
Think about what I said prior to the city. The city was a city of what?
Of sin.
It's Canaanites, Ammonites, all these things. Canaanites, I think, were the city, right?
Rebuild the city of Jericho. We know during Yehoshua's time they're hanging around Jericho.
Was it around Solomon's time they rebuilt it?
Because we know David sent them back down to Jericho as well.
Yeah.
So somewhere between, I would say, Samson and David, they rebuilt this.
So this actually came through, except the one thing that it didn't do, because we don't know, is that we don't know its foundation was with his firstborn. We don't know the guy died with it. But in the days, it was I think a little bit before Ezra and Nehemiah, right around these kind of days, this came back and they rebuilt this and this whole thing. Now, the city is cursed because this is a city that is based on judgment, right? This city had been judged. This city had the Tav. Just like the U.S. had the big old Tav across it, right? The big old X saying, you are going into judgment. This is the same thing. And that this city, because it was judged by Yahushua curses it to this degree. And again, it wasn't built back up later on, but it was the same thing. This prophecy very almost came through exactly, except we just don't know about the firstborn. And it very well could have lost his firstborn in rebuilding this. 27. And Yahuwah was with Yahushua, and a report about him was in all of the land. All right, let's get into interesting things of note.
Questions?
Yep. All right. Yes, questions. Thank you, everyone. Is that what you're doing?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Did I miss one? Okay. Number one. How do you think the people of Yisrael felt when Yahuwah told them to conquer Jericho by marching around the city instead of using conventional military tactics? What does this teach us about trusting his ways over our own understanding?
So the first part of that, I feel like they understood this. I think they had the faith. They've seen a lot in their. Surely they have by faith by now.
I think you're giving these people way too much credibility. You've seen this all the way to the text.
How they were stiff-necked or argued. Maybe some of them.
Maybe it's this generation. Maybe Josh was better.
Yeah, maybe they're different now. It's like, we're going to take over Jericho. Like, okay, who was with us? They saw what happened when they were afraid of the giants and they were afraid of the nations. They got beat. And if you don't fear them, Yahuwah gives them into your hands.
Yeah.
So and what's the second part of the question?
What does this teach us about trusting his ways over our own understanding?
That he knows what he's doing. That he knows what he's doing more than what we know what we're doing. He knows like what the end goal is going to be, and he knows how to accomplish it without causing any issues.
Yeah, and I've seen the United States of America's military. I've seen them get totally stomped by a bunch of dudes with their little 20,000 drones. I would rather be on Yahuwah's military. I would rather him as my commander in chief than any man, right? We've seen it over and over and over. Where was the first military formation that we ever saw with our creator?
It was Moshe, wasn't it?
That's a good guess, which you could definitely hit that one on the broadside of a barn, guessing that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically, yeah.
Okay, how did we get out of Egypt? Did we march in one by ones?
No, we had big groups.
Big groups of what?
50s and 100s.
50s, right. And so the very first military action that we saw was Yahuwah marched his people out in military form in the same way. And so we know that Yahuwah is a man of war. We know that he is a conqueror in all things. Okay, next. Why do you think Yahuwah required complete silence during the daily marches until the final shout? What spiritual lessons can we learn about patience, self-control, and waiting on his timing? Eli, come on. What do you got?
So, I mean, with the patience here, I mean...
This is Jaden. Eli's
yeah.
sleeping.
So-
I'm awake.
All right.
So he didn't want them to talk because the talk was a significant, like this shout, right? He wanted to shout. He wanted to show his power. That it's like, be quiet until it's time to do what you're going to do.
When you go into, well, you guys have never been in, you guys been into a library, right?
Yeah.
They're almost outdated in your lives. Yeah. Well, back in my days, we used to have libraries, and there was a theme in every library. You know what the theme is?
Quiet.
Shh, be quiet. Let people read, right? And so there's a bit of a reverence. It's the same as when people go to their kirkes or church, like, let's be quiet in church, right? There's a reverence to it, right? There's just a quiet, a something about that. And so this is very interesting. I thought that was interesting. You know, we discussed this and we were going through it. So patience, self-control, and waiting on his timing is obviously, you know, from the days of Job, we know about patience, self-control. We know that through all of this stuff. And everything that we're reading about today are things that we can apply to our lives today. Are we getting rowdy when we're praying for stuff? Are we not? Are we seeking him and we're praying, but we're not getting the answers, and so we're impatient? Are we out of control because we're not patient enough for self-control? All these kind of things. Did you have something, Jade?
No.
Is it possible to overcome? What walls do believers face today that can only be overcome through faith and obedience rather than human effort? Everybody, I want you to go with one. Everybody says one thing. What walls do us believers face today that can only be overcome through faith and obedience rather than human effort? Eli.
I'm still thinking. Stress.
Okay, stress. That's a great one. Yeah, stress. I'll go on a limb. You guys can be thinking on this. I would say Paul. The writings of Paul is something that is it's a wall, right? If you're looking at some sort of a wall, of spiritual wall that leads people straight into hell, it's the walls of Paul, right? So we have Paul said, you just have grace. You don't have to keep the law. Paul said, you can do whatever you want to do, blah, blah, blah. That's a problem, right? And so the only way that people can get through that is by reading their scriptures and taking obedience and faith over than Palestinians' words. Jay.
I would say the ways of the world and temptations.
Temptations. Hollywood movies,
the way,
music.
Yeah, the ways of the world. So
all the billboards,
yeah.
billboards alongside the road with half-naked people on there. All these kind of things that lead us astray. Mr. Eli.
I was going to say staying away from the nations. That was going to be my genuine thing.
Cheating.
That was genuinely my. I was about to say it, and Jaden said it.
Okay. All right. No, I believe you guys. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Next question. We'll do a couple more here. Yahushua and the people followed every instruction exactly as Yahuwah commanded. Why is complete obedience often more difficult than partial obedience? Can partial obedience still be considered obedience? Hold on. When you guys do half of the stuff that we tell you to do in the house, is mom and dad happy? Do we say, job well done, guys, completed task?
No, I would say
or what
no.
do we say?
I would say no, that's still disobedience. I mean, 50% is still an F.
You almost obeyed.
So,
almost, not quite.
And if the people of Israel didn't obey 100% here, if they did 50%, they wouldn't have it wouldn't have worked. So if they only marched around 3.5 times, and said that, and they screamed at the 3.5 times because they were tired or they didn't want to obey anymore, then the walls wouldn't come down.
And perfect obedience is not a perfected gift, right? The Torah walk is something that we fall every single day, right? We attempt to perfect our walk, but perfection is something we'll probably never achieve. But stopping at attempting to means you are okay with where you are at. And none of us should be okay with where we are at. Rechab and her household were spared because of her faith and the covenant represented by the scarlet cord. What does her story teach us about repentance, redemption, and the mercy of Yahuwah towards those who choose to trust him?
Well, it really shows that it doesn't matter how evil our past is, how messed up we are, that there's always a chance at repentance and coming back to him.
Yeah.
Because she was saved because she repented. She did what Yahuwah wanted her
prostitute.
to do. Yeah, I mean, she's defiled. She was
Absolutely defiled.
deep into sin.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is one of these things that all of us have come out of Babylon, right? The Boss clan have come out of straight up Babylonian, we were a great Babylon. You put a picture on the wall of Babylonian citizens, and there we were coming out of the Hollywood and coming out of the TVs, coming out of all the music and all the evil and all the stuff we were involved in, right? It takes time. And it's something that we can't thank our Creator enough for patience, because without his patience, we'd all be burned to a little ash crisp about now. But this is something that when we can come out of the darkness, some of us come out of really nasty, grimy places. And some of us have a lot of redemption to work on. And we don't get redemption without repentance. And we don't get repentance without the Torah. Because if we just keep doing it over and over and over and over and never stop, and the repentance doesn't kick into gear, because we haven't stopped. So we can't just keep playing the grace card, the Paul card, and think that we're going to get in when Messiah says Torahlessness means depart from me. Next question. The people marched around the city for 7 days before seeing any visible results. How does this encourage us when we have been praying, serving, or obeying for a long time without seeing immediate answers?
Well, it shows we need to have patience, because the answer isn't going to be yes immediately. And imagine if they walked one time instead of every single day, then their faith wouldn't be as strong as it is.
And we've talked about this on the channel before, but there's a lot of you guys in jail, a lot of you in prison. I've talked to guys who went straight up Torah path, and then they went straight up back to it because they felt nothing, right? They felt they could not hear the voice of Yahuwah. They could not feel his presence. They prayed, and it was just falling on what they believed was deaf ears. But the problem is, it's not that you can't hear ears when things are, when you're speaking to people, the ear's not going to talk back. You guys understand that, right? And so when you say it's falling on deaf ears, that is not true, because I believe all of our prayers are heard, but we have to be in the will of our Creator. And if we're praying for stuff that is not in the will of our Creator and it doesn't happen, and we're like, well, I don't get what I want, I'm not getting my way because it's not happening. My cancer's not cured. I'm not better. I'm not rich. I'm still going to get my house taken away, right? These are things that the Creator knows our needs. He knows our wants. He knows our wishes. He knows when our hearts are in despair and when we're crushed. This is not like new information to him. And so we need to be patient and understand that answers could take decades. All right, last question on this one, and then we'll go into the next reading. After the victory, all the silver, gold, bronze, and iron were devoted to the treasury of Yahuwah. What does this teach about honoring Yahuwah with the first of what he gives us instead of taking the glory or esteem or reward for ourselves?
Well, it's just like first fruits. When he provides for you, we give thanks by giving back to him.
Yeah. And it is, right? It's like these are the things that, the dirty preachers of this world will tell you need to cough up your 10%. You need to come into a kirke, a church made of man worshiping on the wrong day, and by you attending this sacrilegious satanic ritual, you need to pay me 10% of your money. And people oftentimes do this, right? And this is the thing: is our tithes go to our Creator. They go to those who it doesn't go to these greasy preachers from this time. All right, now let's get into it. I got a couple more questions, but we'll get into the line of the king. So, guys, and this is more for our brothers and sisters in chains, because we've been over this on this channel several times. We've been over the book of Matthew, and it never, ever gets old. It is one of these books that is, Messiah is it's an intricate part of the scriptures, right? You can't have the New Testament without reading the Old Testament. The New Testament is a fulfillment of the Old Testament. And so both of these work together in understanding this. And this is an incredible chapter, because it doesn't start with miracles. It starts with a lineage. And a lot of things that we talk about all the time here. And this is the line of the king. And this is very, very important. So, Cade, will you give us I guess, a breakdown? We're in Matthew. I guess give me a breakdown of...
Yeah, so this is the time of Israel. They're currently in the captivity of the Romans. They've been in exile, been in Babylon. They come back with some really bad traditions, some very bad habits, some very bad things, and they need a cleansing. So they are currently under captivity of the Romans because they cannot stop coming into sin, going out of sin, getting into sin, getting exiled, coming back, and this has been their loop for the last hundreds of years. They've been stuck here. So now Yahuwah said it is time. He's going to send a savior. He's going to send a way for the people. Then he's going to send salvation.
And what's interesting is I was arguing with a Zionist guy, and he's literally a Zionist guy. And I'm like, oh, my Zionist friend. He's like, he's like, you're doing this all wrong, and we're talking about this. He's like, and he quoted Isaiah, and he says right there, Yahuwah is our only savior. And he's like, look, right there, there is no other savior. This is not the way it is. It's not going to be. You have to understand the word, what savior means and what saving means, right? When our Creator sends his son, the Torah made flesh, that is him saving us, right? He is our savior by sending us a savior, right? And so if you're thinking that Messiah Yahushua isn't the Messiah and Mashiach, the anointed one, right? We have to go back to the start of the book. And this is what I was telling my Zionist friend. It's not my Zionist friend. I don't even know his name. But I called him my Zionist friend because I tried to be as nice as I possibly could to those who are there. And he was being really nice. Most of the time, Zionists get really crazy. And so we were just going back and forth on this entire thing. So as we get through the line of the king, understand this is very, very important that we get all of this and we get the structure correct. Anyone else have anything before we go? Eli?
Nope.
You're a man of words, but I thought you would have something here. Okay, here we are. Matthew chapter 1. Give me my little thingy bopper of my the genealogy and see if you can zoom in on that, because that was pretty cool. Here we go, guys. This is the book of the genealogy of Yahushua HaMashiach, ben of Dawid, son of Dawid, ben of Abraham. And there's something interesting in that very first verse. It says genealogy of Yahushua, and it doesn't give us ben of Adam. It starts off and it gives him ben of Dawid and ben of Abraham. Anyone want to give us a why did we start off with ben of Dawid right here?
Well, we get the promise that the salvation will come through their lineage. It's like these will be your line of the king. This will be through your loins will become the salvation of the world. And that's what was promised to both these people here. So I think that was just kind of like the fulfillment of the promise right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is it. This is the line. This is literally the line of the king. Okay, Abraham brought forth Yitzchak, and Yitzchak brought forth Yaakov, and Yaakov brought forth Yehuda and his brothers, and Yehuda brought forth Peretz and Zerach by Tamar, and Peretz brought forth Ketzron, and Ketzron brought forth Ram. Okay, this is grimy. We're already in some grime. We're already in a little bit of this lineage is already it's not corrupted, but it could have very well ended up into a corrupted time. Now, what am I talking about, gentlemen, right here?
You're talking about Tamar. This was the
between number 4 and number 5 on our little thing right
for
here.
Yehuda. This was supposed to be the wife of his sons, and they were evil in Nazahu, and they were both killed. So he was supposed to give it to his third son when his son grew up, but he didn't. His wife died. He was drinking, and he ended up.
See, the line of the king. It shouldn't have been. It should have been Yehuda. Then it should have gone to his son. There should have been a little insertion right here.
There should be, but he didn't.
Right, and so we did not get that. And so Tamar became, unfortunately, the bearer of these kids.
Peretz and Zerach.
Yep. Okay, continuing on. Number 4, verse 4. And Ram brought forth Amnadav, and Amnadav brought forth Nachshon, and Nachshon brought forth Solomon. And Solomon brought forth Boaz and Rechab. And Boaz brought forth Oved by Ruth. And Oved brought forth Yishai. Now, there's some interesting things in this lineage, right? We have two things, right? We have a Rechab here, right? In this 10. How did she get in here? How did this come from Nachshon?
That's Solomon's wife.
Solomon's wife. So we have 1, 2.
Solomon from Boaz. So the husband of Ruth
came from this line.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have right here Amminadab, Nachshon, Solomon, Boaz, Oved, Yishai, which is Jesse, and then we have the king. But
Ruth was Boaz's wife.
yeah, but look at these celebrity women here. Look at this. And this is something interesting because in Jewish lineage, right? If you were a Jew and you were telling your lineage, you wouldn't be popping your mom in there. It would be dad, 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 dad. So actually getting this line of the king where we end up with this lineage like it is, it's a little different than what we have. Continue on 6. In Yishai, Jesse brought forth Dawid the sovereign. And Dawid the sovereign brought forth Shalomah by Uriah's wife. Now, again, getting to the line, I mean, we have some problems here, right? We had David's kid, Solomon, was born of an adulterous relationship. Not only was it adulterous, David murdered the guy. He literally murdered this dude, took the wife. So what commandments, what commands did he break on this whole thing?
Lust, coveting your neighbor has, murder, lying.
There's a gambit. There's a gambit of commandments that King Dawid busted up to get to this point.
Also, Solomon and Shalomah technically wasn't from adultery because they were married.
Right. You're right. Yeah, no, he wasn't from adultery, but the son of what the adultered kid would be dead, which was interesting because that would have been the illegitimate child, right? Because it would have been out of wedlock that this would have been born. And at that point, I mean, honestly, David and his wife, they should have all been killed, right? That was the big thing. According to Torah, had this been found out, had this sin been made known, then King Dawid would have been killed, and his the lady for sure would have been gone. So these are some interesting things that show us that the line of the king, it was a little greasy on the way down, right? But our Creator works through all of the people and all of the issues, and he will work through all of us to get us to the finish line. And so there's a lot of interesting things out of this lineage. 7. And Shalomah, the world's greatest necromancer, Freemason, the guy that split all the kingdoms. He gets a big L, folks. This guy gets a huge L on his shirt for being the wisest guy in the world. He might have been one of the dumbest dudes of all, or he was just completely sold out and was okay being sold out because he's corrupted. And Shalomah brought forth Rehoboam, and Rehoboam brought forth Aviah, and Aviah brought forth Asa, and Asa brought forth Jehoshaphat, and Jehoshaphat brought forth Joram, and Joram brought forth Uzziah, and Uzziah brought forth Jotham, and Jotham brought forth Akaz, and Akaz brought forth Kizikiyahu, and Kizikiyahu brought forth Manasseh, and Manasseh brought forth Ammon, and Ammon brought forth Yosiyahu. Now we're running this line, but the people I'm speaking of, there are some serious legends in this group, right? Yosiyahu is a legend. Asa is a legend. There were some really, really, really good kings amongst all the really, 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 really bad kings. And so there's some really good legends in this. Some guys that brought Yisrael all the way back. Things that were they were the anomaly in the kings of Yisrael. 12.
11.
What is it?
11?
Okay, 11. And Yosiyahu brought forth Jeconiah and his brothers at the time of the exile to Babel. So we are in 522 BC is where we are at, because 722 or around the 700s is when the northern kingdoms went into exile, the southern kingdoms went in. And so we are to this 70-year period of Babel. 12. And after the exile to Babel, Jeconiah brought forth She-Aliatel, and She-Aliatel brought forth Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel brought forth Abdihud, and Abnihud brought forth Elikim, and Elikim brought forth Azor, and Azor brought forth Zadok, and Zadok brought forth Akin, and Akin brought forth Elihud. And I'm sure Jeremy would have something to say on the Zadoki side of the house on that, because there's these fellas, the Zadokis are all over the place. 15. And Elihud brought forth Eleazar, and Eleazar brought forth Matan, and Matan brought forth Yaakov, and Yaakov brought forth Yosef, the husband of Miriam, of whom was born Yahushua, who was called Mashiach. Now, there was something interesting that we had prior to all of these guys. It says, let's just start. And Zerubbabel brought forth, and Abdihud brought forth, and Azor brought forth, and Zadok brought forth, Elihud brought forth. You guys see where I'm going with this? And Yaakov brought forth Yosef, the husband of Miriam, who was born Yahushua, who is called the Mashiach. There's one missing thing that was not brought forth here.
Yeah, but technically it's not Joseph's son.
Right.
So it's like he didn't really bring forth Yehoshua, but he did raise him and father him.
Right. And we can tell from the Apocrypha and various things, a lot of people think Joseph was like this young dude. Like this dude was like, kicking in his 30s or something. This dude was an older dude. He was an older generation guy. When you read the book of the Nazarene, he was quite a bit older. He was quite a bit older than this. And this was, we'll get into this, but there was some patience that Joseph had that I don't think that a younger man would have, especially coming up. So let's read on and we'll discuss. And Yaakov brought forth Joseph, the husband of Miriam, of whom was born Yahushua, who was called Mashiach. So all generations, from Abraham to David, were 14 generations. And from David until the exile to Babel were 14 generations. And from the exile to Babel until Mashiach were 14 generations. Now, did our little friend Netanyahu, did he write this up to be 14, 14, 14? Did this just happen to be to this? Did he sit and figure this out?
I mean, so, yeah, he probably figured it out.
This is interesting stuff, right? And the birth of Yahushua HaMashiach was as follows. After his mother Miriam was engaged to Joseph, before they came together, she was found to be pregnant from the Ruach HaKodesh. And in Bible terms, coming together is the do, right? They did not do the do, right? So they were together before they came together. And prior to that, she was found to be pregnant, which that is I think that's a stony, right? You would kill the mother and the baby, right? Mm-hmm. Would you kill them both?
I believe so, yeah.
We don't have any Torah on that, do we?
No, I don't.
What if a lady's pregnant and they find out later?
Well, then
I don't think they would kill the baby, would
no.
they? That would be against Torah.
Yeah, no, I think whoever got her pregnant would have to marry her.
That's in the case of a rape, but what happens if there is an adultery, the lady gets pregnant, they don't find out till way later? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that one. Maybe Sister Barb or somebody out there knows what would happen, because I don't think you would definitely would not be killing the mother and the baby. Guaranteed. I can tell you that's not.
Person.
Yep, that's not how it happens. So I don't know what would happen with that. So that's something I don't know where we'd find the answers to that. All right, 18. 19. And Joseph, her husband, being righteous and not wanting to make a show of her, had in mind to put her away secretly. Now, this is a sign of a older, more wiser gentleman. If you were in your 20s, 30s, and your wife was pregnant, you're likely going to get a little hot-headed. You're just going to snap. It's not going to be good, right? It's not going to do this. And this guy he's different, right? This is different than Jewish rules and regulations. Why is this different?
Because he was supposed to publicly...
He's putting her away secretly.
He's supposed to put her away publicly. He was supposed to call her out in front of all the people, and they were supposed to take her out and stun her.
Yeah. And so this is, and again, that would come to if she had a baby, how would that look? And I don't know. I do not know. 20. But while he thought about this, see, a messenger of Yahuwah appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Miriam as your wife, for that which is in her was brought forth from the Ruach HaKodesh. And people have a problem with this. People have a problem with a human being impregnated by the spirit of the creator of the universe. And I've heard this argument many, many, many times. It's the same argument that people have in Genesis 6, which is interesting that we read that, because there's no way humans are going to get impregnated by spiritual creatures, something of the sort. But yet we have it before and we have it again, and it makes a lot of sense. Now, you don't have to go forth the same thing that you do. It could just be a bam, she's pregnant kind of thing, right? It doesn't have to be some endeavor or any kind of thing like that. People get really twisted on that entire thing. So it could have been the most Kodesh thing you've ever seen in your life. But I believe it. I believe it is true. So continuing on, she shall give birth to a Bain, a son. You shall call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins. And all this came to be in order to fill what was spoken by Yahuwah through the Navi, saying, see, a maiden shall conceive, and she shall give birth to a Bain, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which translated means Ale with us. Here, go back to that picture. Is that the best we had with an angel? This angel has no beard. Beta. Where's this angel? You can't tell me these guys are clean-shaven angels.
Mom found this.
Oh, that's mom. Where's your beard?
He started first with wings. I made him take the wings off.
Oh, the wing. I think give me a beard and some wings. All right. Okay, this is another thing, right? People are like, well, his name is called Emmanuel, El with us. This is it. This is the Father. The Father has come. But yet, we know from those who read scriptures that the Father and the Son are two separate entities. It is not the same. The Father's not the Son is not the Father. What you got?
Sister Barb says, stoned mother if prior to birth of child, then baby died too. If the baby was already born, likely would be sold. A mammizer brother, here said.
Yeah, it's tough. Those would be tough. I mean, I get it because you would have an illegitimate child. But I mean, are we giving the sins of the parents onto the children? I mean, I don't know. I don't know so much as I could do that. I don't know so much as I could do.
And maybe that's why Joseph was going to do it quietly. So
I'm totally good taking people without kids outside the city gates or adulterers and things like that and chuck rocks at them. But as far as an impregnated woman, I don't think I could ever do that. It just wouldn't happen. And so I would have to pray. I would have to seek a lot of guidance, and I'd probably be in contempt of the Torah at this part because I'd probably just put her in a jail cell or something and just make her raise a kid out there. I don't know. I couldn't imagine killing her and the kid or her later. By the way, kid, we just killed your mom. Yeah, she was an adulterer too. And you're illegitimate. So anyway, continue on. 23. El with us, right? El with us does not mean it's when he sends the son, just like when I send my son out to my customers that used to be my customers where they trusted me on their computers. I send my son. They call my company's called Microserve. They call Microserve, and I send my son. They're not, just because Jaden comes representing Microserve, he's not coming as Jason. Although people call him Jason, which is the weirdest thing, he is not Jason, right? And that's the thing. The Creator sent his son to represent him. 24. And Yosef, awaking from his sleep, did as the messenger of Yahuwah commanded him and took his wife, but knew her not until she gave birth to her Ben, the firstborn. And he called his name Yahushua. Okay, and Yahushua, the name Yahushua, Yeshua, is Yah with us, salvation. There's several different meanings for the name, which when you look at the name Jesus, we don't have names like this, right? We don't have, it's not, the name Jesus means nothing. It means Jesus, right? It's a Spanish name, son of Zeus. And so names are very, very important. All right, the last set of questions, gentlemen. Why do you think Netanyahu begins his account? Okay, I think I botched this one. I botched it, but I'll let you continue anyway. Why do you think Netanyahu begins his account with a genealogy instead of immediately telling you the story of the birth of Yahushua? What does the genealogy reveal about the promises of Yahuwah throughout history?
Well, talk about he has the prophecy how he's going to be raised from the seed of Jesse, which was David's father. Moshe, he promises Moshe there'll be someone rise like him to help the people, and so it's all about prophecy, and this is fulfilling the prophecy.
And what does it reveal about genealogy? What does it reveal about how patient Yahuwah is on all this stuff?
I mean, this was what, three sets of 14, so it's a long time. I mean, this is a very long time before he ever sends his son to become the salvation. I mean, he let the world get to a very bad place before he sent his son to redeem them.
And now we're really bad. I would say we're thousands of times worse than back in those days, and so now we need Messiah back to redeem us again because these psychos are getting crazy. Okay, the genealogy includes people with complicated past. That's a very diplomatic way of saying complicated past. Including sinners, outsiders, and those who made serious mistakes. What does this teach us about the mercy of Yahuwah and his ability to work through imperfect people, which is every single one of us?
Well, I mean, like we talked about earlier, he lets us have mercy and forgiveness, and he basically let these people become a good part of history. And they did have issues, they did sin, but Yahuwah forgave them in the end, and they still became a genealogy to the Messiah.
A line of the king, right? A perfect line. A perfect line from an imperfect people is what Yahuwah made it. Several women are specifically mentioned in the genealogy, which was unusual for genealogies of that time, which spoiler alert. Why do you think they were included, and what can we learn from their lives? We kind of already touched on that.
What we learn from their lives is no matter what their history is, Yahuwah can still use you for the greatest of things, no matter where you're coming from, no matter.
Even if you were a prostitute, you could still be part of the
you
lineage
still,
of the
and
king.
you'll still be mentioned in the great generations of the thing. So you can turn your life around no matter what point you're at.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's a good message, guys. In those of you in chains that are listening at least in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice right now, this is something that I know you guys are in chains. I know you're locked up, but those of us out in the free world that are Torah-less are in far more bondage than those of you who are able to listen to things and understand the will of our Creator. Because where you guys are able to listen and absorb and do this, the people in the free world, they don't have any time to do it. They don't want to do it. And so you guys can be free on the inside. And look, it doesn't matter how you guys ended up in the situation that you are in, the clink that you are in, the desperation that you are in, the long nights, the sad times, the people not visiting you, right? It will come to an end. And that's okay, because this isn't our government. This isn't our people. Our people are a different world. Our people are Torah keepers. That's the people who we're going to be hanging with. So as you guys are doing time, and all of us are doing time in this world, remember to make use of this time. Time is the greatest resource and asset that any of us have that we will waste or destroy. Okay, Jay, do you have anything?
No, that's
Joseph planned to quietly end his betrothal to Miriam rather than publicly shame her. What does this reveal about his character? And how should believers balance righteousness with compassion? So there it is right there. I couldn't stone the pregnant girl. I could not stone the pregnant woman. That was literally like 9 months pregnant, 6 months pregnant, something like that. I just could not do it. How did Joseph do this? Because had Joseph gone out and publicly made a mockery, which there was already issues, right? People already knew about this. Had he gone out and did this, how was her life? How would her world be different?
She would have been stoned. She would have been dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went before we know from future reference, they take the one they claim a prostitute, and they're stoned right there in the middle of the city. So
Yep. All right. Next question. When the messenger of Yahuwah appeared to Yosef in a dream, he immediately obeyed. What can we learn from his willingness to trust Yahuwah even when the situation did not make human sense? Your wife has not been impregnated by a man, but by a power of the Creator.
I mean,
right. Whatever. Right. I mean, that's what the first thing you're gonna go. You're like, okay.
clearly he had faith, and I mean, remember we have the command that says, when your messenger comes before you, obey the messenger of Yahuwah. So
He would have had that Torah command.
I think also Joseph knew, like, being part of the line of David, that maybe there was hope he would be part of the generations that bring forth the Messiah.
Well, there are a lot of people that are line of David.
Right, but
yeah, he knows the prophecy.
You know, somebody from the line of
so
David
maybe
would
he's
have done
like,
for sure.
maybe he's like, okay, I'm the chosen one, and just went with it.
Yeah. What do you got, Mom?
The Grand has something about where you're talking about time. She's like, time is the only currency we spend without knowing the balance.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Spend wisely.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? We live in this, everybody, right? With TV, 500 channels, all this kind of stuff, right? There's something to do at all times. These kids are all stuck in their Discord and TikTok and all this trash. And, I've been going off lately about short form content. I'm not okay with it. I'm trying not to produce anything under 3 minutes, right? I don't want to just do a couple dogs talking or saying some stupid dog things. What I'm saying, what it needs to be stuff that does not hurt the people of Yah. And all of this stuff like TikTok and these shorts that are like 15-second shorts, it does damage to your brain. It's going to come out later that we have really, really dumbed ourselves down. Like goldfish have become the intelligent crew of the human race based upon, the technology and these technocrats that are trying to destroy us and enslave us even further into this stuff. Okay, next question. The name Yahushua means Yahuwah saves. Why is the meaning of his name important? How does it summarize his mission?
It also fulfills the prophecy that I will send salvation. I will walk among the people. There's the prophecy. His name is fulfillments to the prophecies that were given back by the prophets.
Yeah. All right. We'll do 2 more questions and we'll get to our last song. So, sorry, we're extending this. We're filling up some DVD times for you guys in prison. So thank us later. Matt Yahu quotes the prophet Yeshayahu to show that the birth of Yahushua will fulfilled prophecy. Why is fulfilled prophecy important for strengthening our faith, and how should we study prophetic passages today?
It shows that what Yahuwah says will come to pass no matter what. Everything he says is true and will happen eventually.
Man, that's the thing about the scriptures, is that it's like there's prophecy after prophecy after prophecy. There's Gog, Magog, and all the stuff in the future. All this we could see it's a fortune-telling book without having to consult a seer, right? We can learn what is going to happen, and that is, our Creator has been very faithful to this point. He has not gone out of anything that he has said, which I think gives us a 6,000-year track record that he is faithful to us in humans' ways. So is what it is. Last question, gentlemen. How does Yosef demonstrate faith through action rather than simply believing? What are some practical ways we can show our faith through obedience in our own lives?
We can show our faith by keeping the Torah. That is the way we show our faith, by our works.
That is it. And if you say that to the Christians, we show our faith by our works, that makes them very angry. Now, if you heard that and that makes you angry, let's talk about this. Let's talk why you're angry that something like this does this. And let's go back to the beginning of the book. Because when we go back to the beginning of the book, we're going to get this all figured out. Jade, will you please, Mrs. Nicole, what do you got?
I have a question.
What you got?
The new guy, Daily.
The new guy. Hey, new guy.
No, Della LaRue's Ramon.
Yeah.
He says, I have a question. Do you send materials to TDCJ, or how do you help them with the teachings?
Do we? What's the first?
Do we send materials?
Yes, we
So,
send.
yeah.
Yes, and we send materials. We've been sending scriptures now for about 3 years.
I think so.
About 3 years. So we have a prison ministry that is Yah Scriptures, and the goal was to have a free Bible printing press, which has been completed. And so our job is to give scriptures into the brothers and sisters in chains. We also ship them in a bunch of other books. And just as of last week, we got a brother in the UK, Chris, who is just an awesome brother, who's burning these to DVD and popping them into the chaplains that we have, that we know. And we are actively looking for chaplains and looking for those who are out there. Volunteers. No, we're looking for chaplains. I am looking for chaplains.
Okay.
I'm looking for any chaplains that are out there that can get us DVDs and things in there. If there's any of you guys in Texas that you guys want to be a volunteer, they're very much needed. I have put this call out there for 4 years now. I've never had anybody that is willing to go in to our brothers and sisters in chains. It is a lifetime experience that you will never be the same. And there are some people that very much need help. If I was in the States, I'd be making a trip once a month over to Texas, going into the prisons, and I would be in there as much as possible, because these are the open doors and these are the people that are seeking Yah in places that are a little less free than the world that we are into.
And the Grand says, Shalom, shalom, all brothers in chains. You are loved and prayed for daily.
Thank you, the Grand. We love you. And I know it's after the last brother that you wrote. I know it's hard to write brothers, but there's a brother in there that would love to hear from you. Stephen Kelly Wilson, I thought you guys would be a really, really good fit. He's a Torah keeper. So Graham, if you ever consider writing him, he would love to hear from you as well. And anyone out there, guys, the guys in chains need some love. All right, our dogs are about to get crazy. We're going to kick this off with this. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yahuwah block you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift his face upon you and give you peace.
All right, we love you guys, and we can't tell you guys that enough. And so big hugs out there to everybody out there. Thanks for hanging with us. We got a couple songs. We got 3 songs, and then we'll call it. Love you guys.
Stand firm in his word. Torah on your heart. Let the battle be heard. From age to age, his commands never fall. One Torah forever, the same for us all. Yes, it will. Come on, sing it out. Hear, O Yisrael, the cry through the land. Devarim chapter 6, bind his Torah on your hand. Teach it to your children when you rise, when you rest. Walk in every path like dust in the wind, but Yahuwah's Torah stands forever without end. Kept in the Shemayim, written in stone, covenant eternal from his sovereign throne. It's the hope of today, the world's true reset, the governance of tomorrow, Yah's promise is set. The rule of Yahuwah coming down from above, established by righteousness, justice, and love. All races, all tribes, every tongue, every land, one Torah forever under Yahuwah's command. Man, woman, child, no matter who you are, one teacher, one standard, one eternal Torah. Fight for Yahuwah, stand firm in his word, Torah on your heart, let the battle be heard. From age to age, from age to age, his commands never fall. One Torah forever, the same for us all. Fight for Yahuwah, stand firm in his word, Torah on your heart, let the battle be heard. From age to age, his commands never fall. One Torah forever, the same for us all. Loyal to Yahuwah, walk the narrow road, carrying the Torah like a warrior's load. Not heavy, it's freedom, life to the bones. A crown on our heads, not a burden of stones. For scripture declares forever and ever. Not one generation he forgets, no, never. One law for all peoples, the decree still stands, written by the finger of Elohim's hand. So rise up, Nazar, and guard the Father's name. Lift Yahuwah's banner with the unashamed flame. The world may reject it, but we'll never stop. Torah is the mountain, unshaken at the top. Fight on top, fight for Yahuwah, stand firm in his word, Torah on your heart, let the battle be heard. From age to age, his commands never fall. One Torah forever, the same for us all. Fight for Yahuwah, keep his ways every day. The Torah is the path, the truth, the way. Forever it stands, the greatest gift to man, the covenant of life from Yahuwah's hand. Yahuwah, open up our eyes so we won't live for empty prize. Teach us Torah, make us see what lasts through all eternity. Do not love the silver, do not love the gold. Only Torah truth will never grow cold. Show us mercy, teach us right, walk with Yahushua in the light. Yahuwah, shape our hearts inside before we face the great divide. There was a rich man dressed in pride, purple robes and feasting wide. At his gate a beggar lay, starving there from day to day. Scraps were thrown but never cared, no love, no help, no heart to share. Do not love the silver, do not love the gold. Only Torah truth will never grow cold. Show us mercy, teach us right, walk with Yahshua in the light. Yahuwah, shape our hearts inside before we face the great divide. Then the beggar died in pain, but in shalom he rose again. His soul went up to light so bright, to Father's righteous, clean and right. The rich man died and stood alone in darkness where his pride was shown. Do not love the silver, do not love the gold. Only Torah truth will never grow cold. Show us mercy, teach us right, walk with Yahshua in the light. Yahuwah, shape our hearts inside before we face the great divide. The rich man cried, Father, please send a a drop to cool my heat, but from the light a voice replied, my Ben, you chose your place to hide. You had good things, he had none, now comfort's his, your days are done. Do not love the silver, do not love the gold, only Torah truth will never grow cold. Show us mercy, teach us right, walk with Yahushua in the light. Yahuwah, shape our hearts inside, before we face the great divide. He begs sin warners to my kin, so they won't fall in this same sin. But the great soul answers strong, they have Torah all along. Nothing speaks more clear than this, not even one race from the abyss. Do not love the silver, do not love the gold, only Torah truth will never grow cold. Show us mercy, teach us right, walk with Yahushua in the light. Yahuwah, shape our hearts inside, before we face the great divide. Choose this day who you will serve. Truth requires a steady nerve. As for me, I make my way. I will serve Yah. Choose today. Old roads call empty sound. False hope scattered all around. Clear voice cut through every lie. Choose this day, don't pass it by. Choose this day who you will serve. Truth requires a steady nerve. As for me, I've made my way. I will serve Yah. Choose today. Faith is more than words we say. Choices prove the path we take. Every home must stand or fall. Who you serve decides it all. Choose this day who you will serve, who you will serve. Truth requires a steady nerve, steady nerve. As for me, I've made my way. I will serve Yah. Choose today. Past deliverance, remember clear. Yah's faithfulness year to year. Why return to empty ways when truth still stands today? Choose this day who you will serve, who you will serve. Truth requires a steady nerve, a steady nerve. As for me, I've made my way. I will serve Yah. Choose today. Decision made, path is sure. Serving Yah will always endure. Stand firm now, don't delay. Life is found when you obey. Choose this day who you will serve. Choose today. Choose today. Choose this day who you will stay, who you will serve. Truth requires a steady nerve, a steady nerve. As for me, I've made my way. I will serve Yah. Choose today. I will serve
All right, fam. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May the grace of the Torah be on your life. May the obedience of the Torah forever be most motivating in everything. May Messiah Yahushua be the king in our lives. May we all greet each other in the kingdom of